Good evening from Melbourne. Welcome to Melbourne Park, to the Australian Open and to the women's singles final. Now, this is not a final for the faint-hearted. On its way, we have two of the biggest ball strikers in the women's game going head-to-head to be crowned champion. Defending champion and world number one Aryna Sabalenka, she is up against the former US Open finalist Madison Keys. Ball-by-ball commentary not too far away. I did want to tell you, if you're just tuning in, we've had British success today. Alfie Hewitt won his second Australian Open singles title in the gentlemen's wheelchair singles, and it's a 10th Grand Slam singles title for Alfie, and he got it with victory over the world number one, and we'll be hearing from him a little bit later in the show. Now, I'm delighted to say that in our commentary box, which is at ground level on the Rod Laver Arena, the pre-match entertainment is underway, the roof is closed, the lights are down, it's just like sitting in a nightclub. It's really, really dark. We have a packed commentary box. I can't really see anyone. I'm hoping everyone is here because we have a star-studded cast. Correspondent Russell Fuller, former British number one Annabel Croft, former Wimbledon champion Pat Cash. How is everyone?
Good. Very, very excited about this match. I've been looking forward to it, well, not just since we knew what the final was going to be, but all day, to be honest. There's been a big build-up to it, a long wait. It's an evening match, but a lot of excitement and a lot of electricity around the ground.
Are you excited, Pat?
I am. You know what I'm most interested in is how Madison Keys is going to deal with this. The last time she was in a final, she was horrible.
Right, we're starting on a positive for Keys then.
No, well, I mean, it was quite a while ago. Yeah, so she's had a lot more experience, and this is her second time around. So it's I'm really curious. It's going to be a huge mental battle, as finals always are.
Well, let's do a little bit of scene setting, Russ, as to the two players who are very shortly going to be walking out onto court.
We have Aryna Sabalenka, who is very much the hard court queen. She's won the Australian Open for the past 2 years. She's become a multi-Grand Slam champion. She's become a world number one despite overcoming a lot of tragedy, including the shock of losing her father in her very early 20s. She's the immensely powerful player, but is she as powerful as Madison Keys? That is a debate worth having. Keys, the child prodigy who turned professional at the age of 14. She says she's thought endlessly about that timid performance Pat referenced at the US Open final of 2017. That was her first crack at a Grand Slam title. 8 years later, at the age of nearly 30, she gets a second go. Will there be many more opportunities left?
And Annabelle, if you didn't know anything about Madison Keys, Russell mentioned she's nearly 30, and you were reading the match notes that we're given, you'd think she was 59, because every line starts with oldest. Old? Oldest? Old.
Well, she's been around a very long time, and actually I remember her when she was a teenager here, and this was one of her early breakthroughs actually, when she beat Venus Williams, got to the semi-final. So this was the first slam that she really made a big impact on, and then she lost to Serena Williams in that semi-final. But there was a lot of noise around her that year, and I think we thought she was going to go on and do great things in the game, because she was just so powerful, so raw, so exciting to watch. But as Pat said, I mean, everybody watched that final US Open behind a pillow. It was excruciating, but I think she's come a long way since then.
Yeah, no, she certainly has. Now, we're getting very used to seeing Aryna Sabalenka in Grand Slam finals on the hard courts. She's aiming to become the first woman in 26 years to win 3 successive Australian Open titles in a place she absolutely loves.
I just feel like home, you know, like last year I thought, okay, I feel like home, I feel so good here, I feel all the support, but this year I feel it even more, you know, I feel like I'm coming back to my home slam, I know everything, I know every area, like I know where to warm up, so it's not that crowded, you know. I go there and I feel like people like screaming my name, they support me, and I have goosebumps every time they scream like, let's go Aryna. It's incredible to feel that support here.
Aryna Sabalenka's won 20 straight matches here, and while, Ross, people might look and say, okay, you've got the world number one, but she's up against the 19th seed, but in reality we've got the two form players, because both of these players have had fantastic starts to the year.
They both won their last 11 matches, and they are both already champions on the WTA Tour in 2025. Sabalenka's done what she normally does in Melbourne. She's actually dropped the one set in the quarterfinal against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Madison Keys has dropped more sets, but look at the players she's beaten. The world number 2, Iga Swiatek. She's also beaten the world number 7 and the world number 11. So Elena Rybakina has been beaten. Aryna Svitolina has been beaten. Danielle Collins has been beaten. She has had to do it the hard way, and that gripping victory over Iga Swiatek in the match tiebreak in the semi-final, having been match point down, will probably be most people's highlights of the entire championships, I think.
Yeah, it's a contest that everybody continues to talk about. They're now opening the roof on the Rod Laver Arena. What time is it? Just gone 7:30 in the evening, and very shortly we'll let you hear the players as they come down what they call the Walk of Champions, with LED screens floor to ceiling with all the past winners. And it's not just any old walk, Pat. It's a walk to come out onto Rod Laver Arena in front of 15,000 people for a Grand Slam final, which is why a lot of people are saying, maybe more so with Madison Keys, how is she going to handle the occasion and the emotions?
Well, yeah, and it's certainly a hot walk, as we do, don't we?
It's really hot.
we get
like
halfway
being in a sauna.
to get into the box here, but it's like a sauna. So if you weren't warmed up before, you're definitely warmed up by the time you get onto centre court. But yeah, look, she has been in the Grand Slam final before. Yeah, yes, she hasn't performed particularly well. And is that going to, is it going to affect her? I mean, that's the bottom line. Is she going to be better, or is that some scar tissue there? That's the other thing. And if it starts badly and things start getting worse and worse, I think she's a better player now, and she's full of confidence, and I think she'll. I don't know if she is a better player, but I think she's a more experienced player, and I think that'll go a long way. But you're walking down to come out here the Australian Open. It's there's a full stadium. It's one of the biggest sporting occasions in the world. A Grand Slam, tennis Grand Slam, and a final. It really doesn't get any much bigger than that anywhere in the world in any sport.
Now, before they head down the Walk of Champions, enough time to hear from Madison Keys on what she admires most about Aryna Sabalenka.
I've always been really impressed with how she's been able to do that, and I think the one thing that I really wanted to try to be better at was not playing more passive in big points, and honestly just trying to emulate the way that she trusts her game and she goes after it. And I think if you're able to do that and you miss and you lose, but it's on your terms, it's a little bit easier to swallow than if you're kind of playing a little bit passive and things don't go the way that you want them to anyways.
The other thing that's going to be very different is as they walk out to Rod Laver Arena, the trophy that they are playing for, the trophy that they are fighting for, Russell, is going to be to their right.
The Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup is very close to them when they walk out in a couple of minutes' time. Very close to us as well, and it is glinting under the lights that are still required here at the moment as the roof is opened on a fairly cloudy but warm and relatively still Melbourne evening. Nice conditions for tennis, and I've just spotted that Jason Stacey, Aryna Sabalenka's fitness trainer, has had his bald head scribbled all over again. This is a Grand Slam tradition, isn't it? Aryna Sabalenka gets out the permanent marker and starts scribbling her signature or puts a picture on his head, and it hasn't happened in Melbourne so far, but it has happened in time for the final.
So the bald head has been scribbled on.
Not quite sure what with. It was too far away to get a look.
Marker pen?
Hopefully not a permanent marker pen.
Tattoo gun.
Just tattooing him before she heads out onto court. The flags are in place. The crowd are being whipped up into a frenzy. On the monitor, we can see Aryna Sabalenka. This is the first Grand Slam where she has been the top seed. She's looking for the three-peat here.
Have you seen more people on the side of a court ever? Look, yeah. I mean, the one side is just full of cameras. The other side, it looks like there's about 1,000 security people and staff of some sort. I mean, it's amazing how the flags come out.
It reminds me of commentating on Tiger Woods inside the ropes at the Open Championship in his absolute pomp. And organisers got very stressed about it because there were so many people who thought they had a reason for being inside the ropes, and it got a bit out of control because the spectators behind couldn't see anything.
I think it's thinned out a little bit. I think a few people have left. The flags are fluttering, and the players, they're just waiting for the sign to say they will start the walk. Now, you will hear the walk, we will see the walk, and it will be Aryna Sabalenka, because she's a top-ranked player, that will lead the the march through the Walk of Champions, but it will be Madison Keys is introduced out onto court first as the lower ranked of the two players. You'll hear commentary as they go along the walk. As I mentioned, it's winners from all the years of the Australian Open. And the picture right now, you've got Aryna Sabalenka on one side to the left, Annabelle, and you've got Madison Keys on the right. And I think we're about to start.
Yeah, she's making her way now, Aryna Sabalenka, with the big headphones on, but no eye contact between the two of them.
There certainly isn't. So here they come down the Walk of Champions onto the Rod Laver Arena.
Sensational stuff, Madison Keys.
This is her moment.
What a performance. The win of her life, Madison Keys, is into the Australian Open final. Aryna Sabalenka.
A two-time defending champion survives.
Absolutely dominant performance.
Perhaps her best performance of the tournament so far sees her into a third straight Australian Open final.
This is it, the women's singles final. Please welcome to Rod Laver Arena, from the United States of America, Madison Keys.
29 years of age, the 19th seed, her second Grand Slam final, following on from the final at Flushing Meadows at the US Open in 2017. 7.5 years later, she is back in a Grand Slam final.
Their opponent, the reigning Australian Open champion, Aryna Sabalenka.
It's a fifth Grand Slam final for Aryna Sabalenka. As she marches to the bench closest towards us, 26 years of age, 20 matches unbeaten here at Melbourne Park, and she's looking for a fourth major title in her last 8. In terms of the head-to-head, it's 4-1 in favour of Sabalenka. The win for Madison Keys came on the grass, which is a surface that Keys is more comfortable on. They're going to head to the centre very shortly, Pat, but you've coached players a number of times against Madison Keys. What are the instructions?
And big hitting players, funny enough. The semi-final at the US Open, when Madison got to the final, I was coaching Coco Vandeweghe, who hits the ball absolutely like a bullet. I mean, she's probably one of the hardest hitting players on the tour, as hard as Sabalenka. And the Keys just played the match of her life. I mean, it was absolutely breathtaking and horrifying as a coach. I was sitting there just going, well, there's nothing Coco can do. Madison Keys is just hitting winner after winner after winner. So that sort of, you think, well, she's quite happy with hard-hitting players, but the backhand will break down. I mean, there's no doubt the backhand will break down. The backhand up high and above her shoulders will break down. Problem is, Sabalenka is not going to be hitting not many moon balls, I don't think, slow, high balls to Keys' backhand. And she prefers the forehand cross-court. She prefers the backhand cross-court. My barometer for Madison Keys is if she goes to the backhand down the line and starts hitting it, you're in big trouble, because if she starts making that one, then she opens up the whole court and the opponent has no idea what to do.
You watched her final practice out here a little bit earlier, Annabelle. You were commenting on not only how well she was striking the ball, but how calm she looked.
She really looked very calm, Gigi, and she was hitting with her husband, Frantangelo, and she did not miss a ball. I mean, literally, she was middling everything. She looked extremely calm. There wasn't too much chatting between the two of them. Normally, you see a player and a coach relationship, and you know, as I said, he's her husband, but normally you see a little bit more interaction between the two, and there's discussion and tactics and stop-start and what have you. But literally, they went through their routine. She must have only missed 2 balls in the entire warm-up, which told me that she's not nervous at all. I mean, she looked like she was just absolutely at ease. And I was watching her breathing just before she walked onto the court, and she smiled at one of the security guards. Her breathing was very low down in her body, which is always the first sign. If you see someone breathing very high up in their chest, then you know that there's a bit of stress there. But I don't know, I just feel like she's really in a good place.
Well, according to her husband, who's also her coach, former ATP player Bjorn Fratangelo, when asked does she still have the desire, does she still have the hunger, he said she still has juice in the lemon. And we're expecting to see some of that today, but the task, the test, Russell, is a tough one because Aryna Sabalenka, she has been tested, dropped just the one set, but at the moment she's the player to beat, especially on a hard court.
Yes, Aryna Sabalenka is the US Open champion as well as the Australian Open champion, and she has dropped 2 sets in 20 matches here at the Australian Open, and she has won all 20. So we are wondering here on the Rod Laver Arena whether we are going to see the first women's three-peat since the end of the 20th century, or a maiden slam for Madison Keys.
History will be made one way or the other at the Australian Open this morning.
Huge serve, massive backhand. Here comes Sabalenka, little dink half volley.
There it is, game, set, match for the defending champion.
There'll be a little bit of nerves, but there's so much confidence flowing through Aryna Sabalenka right now.
Good forehand cross court from Pavlyuchenkova, but that's unplayable from Sabalenka.
She's mishit it, and Madison Keys is an Australian Open finalist. The American defeats the world #2.
At the end of the day, if I just keep putting in the work and doing my best and leaving it all out there, that's the only thing that I can do.
Aryna Sabalenka, who marches on, continues on in the defense of her Australian Open title.
The biggest thing that makes her so difficult to beat, she moves so well. If you miss your spot just slightly, she has enough time to recover.
This year I'm just gonna try to take it step by step and do my best, and hopefully I'll be able to hold this beautiful trophy one more time.
So Annabelle, we got the game plan, what you look to try and do to break down Madison Keys. What's the game plan going up against Aryna Sabalenka?
Well, you can't let her just dictate, and I was saying this earlier to somebody, that when you watch her, and you know, we've all watched her for a number of years now, and we know what power she brings to the court, but I almost feel like with her, it doesn't matter what's down the other end of the court, she just plays her game. And if her game is on, it's good enough to beat anybody, and it just takes the racket straight out of your hands. So you have to stand up to her and try and not allow her just to get that first strike in, dictate and start bullying and bossing the points around. But it's very difficult because she possesses big weapons. She's strong physically. She can stand up to it. She's got a huge serve. And, you know, because of we keep going on about this position we have, we can see what her forehand does, particularly cross-court. It really takes opponents out wide on the cross-court, the backhand cross-court return. Reminds me of Serena Williams. It's phenomenal. And she uses her legs so well. And also she's added this slice. It's a very knifed slice. I think it's really impressive. It's not just a really effective shot to use aggressively, but she can defend with it and defend with aggression. And she's added that drop shot and the ability to come forward. So there's a lot there that's tricky. But if you can sort of, well, Madison has the capability to stand up to it with power and start to hit her strikes into the corners and take the ball away from her. So they have a similar game style, really, don't they? I mean, they're kind of mirror images of each other. It's just going to be who does it better tonight.
Who do you think will do it better?
Well, at the start of the tournament, I was definitely picking Aryna Sabalenka, but I just feel like Keys, I don't know, maybe this is her time. My instincts just slightly edging towards the fact that I think she can do it, but I'm not sure.
Which one are you going for, Pat?
It's a tough pick. The Keys has got a lot of tennis in her legs.
First set,
I'm not sure if she can hang in there with Sabalenka the whole way.
Well, let's find out. Your commentary team, Pat Cash, Annabelle Croft and Russell Fuller.
Play.
Aryna Sabalenka, the champion of the past 2 years, will get this Australian Open final underway on 5 Live. She serves from the commentary box end and goes long with the first serve. In the words of Madison Keys' husband and coach Bjorn Fratangelo, maybe Aryna is a little more of the polished version of Madison. There are many, many similarities. Who is going to be most polished here? An anxious start by the champion. A double fault to open the final from Sabalenka.
Yeah, well, against Pavlyuchenkova, she was pretty edgy, wasn't she? And she was getting a little bit stressed before she finally calmed down and came through being a breakdown in that final set. But she definitely has the capability to still get edgy.
First serve catches the net and spins wide, so Love 15, yet to get a serve in play, Sabalenka. This one is good, it's to the backhand of Keys, it lands in mid-court, and there is that familiar power. A statement forehand down the line from Sabalenka for 15 all, and she bends down and just adjusts her shoes. Not that they look like they need much adjustment after what we have just witnessed.
Well, that wasn't coming back, was it?
That was a beauty, wasn't it?
That was like a sledgehammer.
Yeah, the Keys sort of rolled the ball back and thought, OK, I'll just get into the rally here. No. Boom. Gone. Points over.
15 all. Backhand return from Keys. Forehand Sabalenka into the net. How many rallies of more than 5 shots are we going to see in this final?
Not many, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's going to be the key, isn't it? It's who can extend it a little bit. I mean, I know that you talked about, Pat, the fact that against Keys, a lot of players would like to extend the rallies, but actually Ryan Harrison was talking about the data this morning that against Svitolina, she was winning the majority of rallies over 5 shots.
Yeah, Svitolina doesn't hit the ball particularly hard, so she's got plenty of time to set that point up.
Forehand cross-court from Sabalenka and a forehand cross-court from Keys is over the baseline, so it's 30 all. Sabalenka in front of us. We are slightly below court level with an amazing view here on the Rod Laver Arena. Sabalenka walking up to the baseline is about 11 or 12 metres in front of us now. A little bit of a breeze, just ruffling that two-tone lemon dress, and in fact she breaks off before getting ready to serve to Madison Keys, who has some strapping on her left leg. She's wearing a two-tone green dress and a white baseball cap. And Sabalenka is struggling with her serve in the opening game.
And her skirt is really billowing around in the wind, isn't it? So it's quite breezy out there.
Maybe the wind is picking up. 30 all, Sabalenka. It's a second double fault of the opening game of the final.
She's nervous.
So a break point to Keys already. The 29-year-old, 5 foot 10 inches tall, so slightly shorter than Sabalenka, who's 3 or 4 centimetres taller and is 3 years younger at 26. She's the world #1, but she's break point down in the opening game of the final. Backhand return from Keys, forcing Sabalenka back behind the baseline. Sabalenka with a forehand, fabulous deep hitting from Keys. Now she's working Sabalenka into the corner with too much to do. And Keys takes her first opportunity of the final, having elected to put Sabalenka into serve, having won the toss. And it's paid dividends. Keys wins the opening game and breaks the champion serve.
Yeah, it often happens. So the ladies like to return serve, and fair enough too. That worked out nicely. A couple of double faults from Sabalenka. I mean, that's a nervous start. They're in the final. You expect that. We saw that in the semi-final with against Swiatek. They couldn't hold serve for the first 4 games. It took a while to get going.
Madison.
I'm really interested in which direction she's going to serve here, because in warm-up she was practicing a lot of serves down the centre tee.
Here's our first look of Madison Keys in the final, and she's gone to the forehand of Sabalenka, but her forehand follow-up is nice and crisp, and Sabalenka nets the backhand.
15.
It was so interesting watching that warm-up, because I would say the majority of serves that she warmed up were on the deuce side, down the tee, which is not normally what she does against most players. She uses the one we've just seen out wide on the forehand.
15 love. Now she goes down the tee. It's an excellent serve, and it's a fabulous start for the 19th seed, who's the world number 14, her ranking higher than her seeding because she won the title in Adelaide just a day before the Australian Open began and after the seedings had been set and the draw had been made. 30 love. Forehand return Sabalenka to the forehand of Keys. Sabalenka now onto the baseline, hits the forehand down the line. Keys on the defence with a lob. Forehand cross-court Sabalenka, reached by Keys, but she hits a flat forehand into the net. This is her opportunity to put out of her mind that 2017 US Open final where she seemed overawed and was beaten by Sloane Stephens. Consumed by nerves, she said, and the opportunity both those Americans felt to win a first Grand Slam title. Forehand from Keys, she's on the back foot, powerful return by Sabalenka.
30 all.
And it's 30 all.
That was interesting on that particular serve, because she didn't really go for that one. She just spun that one into play and she got burnt by it. So she's going to have to be brave, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a great kick serve, Keys. So she'll, but maybe save that for the second serve.
30-all, backhand with slice. It's a mid-court return from Sabalenka. Keys is coming into the net, and she puts the overhead away. An effortless one, just a high volley, really, more than an overhead, and she has game point for a 2-love lead. The other match she might like to put out of her mind was the meeting with Sabalenka in the semi-finals of the US Open just 16 months ago. She led by a set, and she won that set 6-love and 5-3, and then Sabalenka won 15 of the next 16 points and eventually won the match. Wide with the forehand, Sabalenka, and Keys has made the dream start in the Australian Open final. She leads by 2 games to love.
Well, that was an excellent service game, wasn't it, to back up the break of serve, and she looked very calm there. She just was getting the shoulder loosened up, some nice ground strokes, and looked as if she has very clear thinking as to what she's trying to do out here. And she's kind of marching in a very positive way, isn't she, in between points?
She's settled nicely, hasn't she? You know, Sabalenka looks more anxious, there's no doubts about that.
Sabalenka, love 2 down. 5 Live, Saturday morning, BBC Sounds. I've been watching in the company of Annabel Croft and Pat Cash, a Wimbledon champion, and also twice a runner-up at his home Grand Slam here at the Australian Open. Rod Laver Arena, Saturday evening Melbourne time. Forehand return from Sabalenka is just over the baseline. Good, strong return from Madison Keys.
Yeah, it's interesting, Pat, isn't it, that she's attacking that forehand into that forehand corner.
Yeah, I mean, she got around there and hitting her forehand. I mean, she's got a fantastic forehand, Keys. Arguably be the best forehand in the game. She can spray some out. She can hit a long way out, but she needs to use it.
Love 15.
That's a first serve that wasn't 134 Ks. So Sabalenka hasn't got the timing on the serve yet.
And it was into the net, but that forehand cross-court is really good from Sabalenka, and Keys did well to track it down, but can't make the forehand cross-court. You could probably hear her feet scampering rapidly across this blue hard court.
What a forehand cross-court that was. Hooked across court sharp inside the service line, really, and on the sidelines. A super sharp angle.
15-all, backhand return from Keys, right onto the baseline. Backhand cross-court from the American Keys. Now lining up the forehand, and it's a winner. And she's playing with so much confidence and does not look to be affected by the nerves that derailed her in that US Open final 8 years ago.
Well, she's playing with freedom, isn't she, out here? And that last winner just left Sabalenka standing, literally, and staring, like she didn't know what to do.
She didn't move an inch. No, it's almost like she didn't know which way Madison was going to go on that one. She can go either way as well, so it just froze her to the spot. It was too fast to react.
Some great former champions such as Margaret Court and Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley, who will present the trophy later, are watching on inside the Rod Laver Arena. They're watching Madison Keys swing a backhand cross-court, the slice forehand from Keys, Sabalenka's forehand, Keys with a forehand down the line. It's just too long from Keys.
It was a well-struck ball, but it must have just missed by an inch or so. But it was actually the right way to play. She was going after it. She wasn't holding back.
Yeah, good mistake if there's such a one-runner. It was a big point, 15-30, to try and get up a double break. It would have given her 2 break points, but you know, she hit it well, an inch long, but she's still being very positive with that forehand.
30-all, good serve from Sabalenka, and Keys at full stretch puts the forehand into the net. Also here among the celebrities are the great Olympic swimmer Ian Thorpe and the actor Jackie Chan.
I thought I saw him. He was bouncing off the walls and running around behind the scenes and climbing up ladders and flipping over.
Sabalenka doesn't agree with that call.
Pots and all sorts of stuff.
Well, it is sometimes hard to hear these calls, isn't it? Given that it's electronic line calling, and also Sabalenka's scream hangs in the air a little bit. Backhand into the net from Madison Keys, and the champion Aryna Sabalenka is on the board. Keys, though, has the early break and leads by 2-1. Sorry, I spoke over the end of your Jackie Chan story. I didn't sound nearly as impressed as I should have done.
I was making stuff. You know me by now. You know I'm making that up.
Lots of stars of Love Island Australia have been on site as well today, so maybe that's
I didn't know you were a fan of Love Island.
Did I say I was a fan of Love Island?
Well, it sounds like you recognised them and knew they were here.
I was just repeating the factually correct information that there are lots of stars of the Australian version of Love Island on site today.
I couldn't see you watching Love Island, Australian or English. Right, you're listening to 5 Live. It's Saturday morning. It's lovely to have you with us. It's a great start for Madison Keys, so the perfect time to hear from Bjorn Fratangelo, coach and husband of Keys, on the similarities he sees between the players.
Aryna's a little more of the polished version of Madison, similar in size, similar game style. Aryna, I think, just does things a little bit better over the course of like a 52-week calendar year, But yeah, I think what I've seen from her now is just what the greats do is they have an ability to raise the level when it matters most. That's kind of how you feel with Novak when he plays most matches, Serena when she played most matches, Roger, Rafa, And I think she has that now.
Now, just to let you know that the Women's Ashes is live right now over on Sports Extra. I don't think it'll be watched by members of Love Island Australia, because apparently, according to Rossi, they're all here on the Rod Laver Arena.
All over Melbourne Park today. I think they were playing pickleball earlier.
Who
That's
was?
where I picked it up.
You
the stars of Australia, Love Island, Gigi, keep up.
You know a little bit too much about this.
Just do my research diligently, that's the difference. Ace from Madison Keys off the back of a really good forehand. 2-1, 30-love. First set of the women's singles final on 5 Live.
Well, that first point set an indication for me. Keys' serve, obviously, but the backhand down the line, and on that first point, she just thumped a backhand down the line right into the corner of the court. So, real signs of confidence.
Forehand cross-court, well struck by Sabalenka, and on the move, Keys hits a forehand down the line, but wide.
It's going to be hard to get a rhythm in this match for either of them, because it is just like slam, bam, quick, sharp points, up and down.
Exactly what we expected. Not going to be too many rallies, but it could be breathtaking. It's a missed first serve from Keys. This second service to the backhand of Sabalenka, forehand from Keys. Sabalenka into the net with the backhand, squats down in frustration and dejection, but she springs up again very quickly.
Well, she was pretty late on that last backhand, and she's not getting much time on the ball, is she? She's the one normally that dictates, and she's being dictated too.
Yeah, beaten by pace totally there. Big forehand from Keys. She just didn't expect it to come that fast.
Down the tee, backhand return from Sabalenka. Keys with a forehand. That was a bad miss. That was the first really ragged error we've seen from Keys. It may not prove too costly. She still has 1 game point for 3-1.
Yeah, just saw Sabalenka, great serve from Keys right down the tee, and Sabalenka just scooped the ball back in the middle of the court and picked a side. Happened to be the side that Keys was going, and Keys just caught out the glimpse of the corner of her eye.
Here's the second game point, and the forehand from Sabalenka, not able to deal with that deep Keys serve, is over the baseline, and the American leads the first set of the final
leads by
3 games to 1. She credits her grandfather for much of her power, or at least giving her the idea to really go after the ball, because when she was just getting into tennis and didn't know too much about the sport, she says he was a huge baseball fan, and she reckons that she went out there for the first time, she was just basically trying to hit home runs every time she swung the tennis racket. Sabalenka under pressure in the final, missing the first serve, shaking her head. Only 14 minutes played. Second serve, Sabalenka, forehand cross-court from Keys. Sabalenka with a forehand did really well to pick that up. Again, one knee virtually touching the court. Still shaking her head, but she won the point.
15
Well, the first serve percentage, 38%, and Keys 92%. So that's chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah, 2 incredible stats. For very different reasons. This first serve is good by Sabalenka, but the forehand is long.
She's a little bit all over the place at the moment. She's not settled, she's uncomfortable, and she's not really trusting herself, and that just sailed off the strings. Really left the strings pretty quickly. And just her whole body language is just a little bit all over the place.
And for people who haven't watched Aryna Sabalenka before, she lets you know exactly how she is feeling. Forehand cross-court from Keys. Forehand Sabalenka down the line. Keys with a bit of air on the backhand to buy herself some time. But that is more like the Aryna Sabalenka we know. It's a forehand down the line for the winner.
30 for 10.
Where Keys is playing, before this game started, she went to the towel, which is right by her husband, and he had plenty to say ahead of this service game of Sabalenka. So I wonder what he was saying tactically for her, but I think it was really about being aggressive on the return.
Sabalenka 30-15, good serve down the tee. Now she's got a short ball, goes cross-court with the forehand, but Keys is there and hits a passing winner.
Great anticipation there from Keys.
30.
Almost exactly the same role reversal as the one before when Keys missed. Yeah, picked the side, came across. That forehand cross-court is a fantastic shot. Never in doubt she's going to miss that passing shot.
30 all. Sabalenka misses the first serve down the tee. In danger here of going a double breakdown. Second serve at 30 all for Sabalenka. And it's a double fault. It's her third
30.
of the match. And this is now a break point for a double break. 4-1 first set lead for Madison Keys, competing in only her second Grand Slam final.
Well, that ball toss looked all over the place there. It was out of position. She was tracking it. She never really looked in control of the racket face.
Sabalenka just apologises to Keys. She was about to serve and decided she needed a few more seconds. She's ready to go now, though. She's break point down. She's had a good serve. The high backhand return from Keys, the forehand from Sabalenka. But Keys is still in this rally. Forehand cross-court with even more power from Sabalenka. Keys has got another ball back in play, and Sabalenka nets. Trying to play the drop shot, and there's a real bounce in the stride of Madison Keys as she makes her way to the chair, because she has a double break advantage in this first set over the champion of the last 2 years. Keys leads Sabalenka, Pat Cash and Annabelle Croft, by 4-1.
Yeah, well, it's just great defensive work on that last point from Keys. She scrambled the ball back and, you know, had a little bit of luck, and you need a bit of luck. She just squash shot forehand and it dribbled over the net, forced Sabalenka to come forward. Really awkward shot, and she decided to try and drop shot that back and just hit the top of the net. And yeah, you need a bit of luck, things to go your way, and just looks really uncomfortable, doesn't it, for Sabalenka at the moment? Everything is sort of
it's clunky. Yeah, and I think, as you say, it was a little bit lucky, some of the shots she hit there, but she managed to kind of scrape the balls back. And when you have a player like Sabalenka who's not playing with freedom, she doesn't feel completely in control of her ground strokes. When junk is thrown at you, you start to feel uncomfortable, and she looked really awkward on that last shot. And, you know, again, just watching Keys' body language, she is marching. She's got up from this change of ends, and she is striding towards the baseline, ready to take the balls to serve again. And we've got a rather dejected looking Sabalenka down the other end, who's walking rather slowly back into position.
Yes, showing her emotions very clearly.
In normal circumstances, Sabalenka wouldn't be too concerned. Go, okay, I'll just break serve. But Keys has got such a good serve. That double break is huge.
And she leads by 4-1, and she's attacking here and now just rather soft-balling, and it does the job, hitting a forehand back at Sabalenka, who was perhaps surprised by that and has hit a backhand over the baseline. Football-wise today, Mark Chapman has 5 live sport from midday. Alan Shearer, Theo Walcott, Dion Dublin and Statman Dave joining in for the early part of the programme. And our commentaries are Wolves against Arsenal at 3 and Manchester City against Chelsea at 5:30 after Sports Report. Backhand, high return from Madison Keys. The off forehand from the champion Aryna Sabalenka. Keys goes down the line. Keys on the run, hits the forehand cross-court. Sabalenka is there and pushes the forehand down the line. The drop shot from Keys is a winner.
Oh my goodness.
Sabalenka cannot believe it. She is staring down at Madison Keys and now smiling. The audacity of the woman, she seems to be saying.
Well, that was an extraordinary shot. I don't think even she thought she was going to make that one, but is this her day? When you're hitting shots like that, it suddenly feels like this might be her day.
I mean, that was the right shot. It looked like it's almost like the defensive sort of shot that she was going to slice back deep, but she just cut it short.
30 love, now 40 love as the Sabalenka backhand is over the baseline.
40 love.
Well, it was like a short slice stabbed shot, wasn't it? But she got hold of it and it kind of was a bit weird on the racket face, but it paid off and now she's backed it up. This is going really quickly. This is not good for Sabalenka. 20 minutes on the clock and almost 5-1 down.
3 game points for Keys. Down the tee with an ace, and she leads the champion by 5 games to 1 in just 20 minutes in the first set on the Rod Laver Arena.
Well, I don't think anybody would have predicted a first set like this. But I think it's not the first time we've seen Sabalenka have some poor starts in matches, and there's a bit of panic. She's looking across at her support camp, but she's up against it tonight. She's up against an inspired opponent.
Just a reminder that in that US Open semi-final of 2023 between these two, Keys won the first set 6-love and served for the match 5-3 up in the second, but still lost in a third set tiebreak. Sure, they both remember that match. Backhand from Keys. She's trying to break the Sabalenka serve again and close out the first set. And she already has love 15 as Sabalenka misses the low volley. The ball bounces back to her. She kicks it away in exasperation. But Madison Keys showing us that it's not all power, is it? She's being clever today. She's throwing in things that Sabalenka probably wasn't expecting.
Well, that slice shot is basically what she did before with the drop shot. She just came across and just cut it short. That time, Sabalenka happened to be at the net and not the baseline.
Backhand netted by Keys. 15-all. She's still 3 points away from winning the first set.
Well, it's a rarity at the moment because she's not missing very much. She's forcing Sabalenka to have to play as many balls as she can. And she's still not settled and comfortable.
Sabalenka at the far end as we watch on from the commentary box. Serving and now hitting a forehand over the baseline. And Keys now 2 points away.
15-13.
This is back to the old Sabalenka, isn't it?
It is a bit.
It's somebody who's very raw and just missing, and once it goes off big time.
15-30 on the Sabalenka serve. Backhand return from Keys. It hits the net, sits up for Sabalenka, who hits the outside of the sideline with a backhand.
Keys just sort of puts her hands up and then goes, did that really go in? And the answer is, well, you can hear it. Yes, just. What is that, 9/10 out?
Yep.
And more. 9.5/10.
30-all. Sabalenka serving. Forehand return from Keys. Straight back at Sabalenka. Sabalenka on the move now, hits the forehand down the line. Keys with the backhand cross-court. Sabalenka down the line. Keys cross-court with the forehand. Sabalenka's volley. Keys with a passing chance. Down the line. Volley Sabalenka. Passing chance again for Keys, who needs no second invitation. Set point. Madison Keys in the final against the champion of the last 2 years. After just 23 minutes on the Rod Laver Arena. Stunning tennis from Keys. A stunning start by the 29-year-old in only her second Grand Slam final, with her coach and new husband Bjorn Fratangelo watching on from the players' box at court level on the Rod Laver Arena. The set point has been saved, though, by a fine first serve to the backhand by Aryna Sabalenka.
Well, that was just too good, wasn't it? Pinpoint accuracy into that corner. A little bit more on it, and she's going to fight hard for this. She's not just going to hand it across on a plate, you wouldn't think.
Deuce. Sabalenka misses the first serve. Henry Patton of Great Britain and Harri Heliövaara of Finland will be trying to win their second Grand Slam title after this in the men's doubles final against the Italian pair of Bolelli and Vavasori. Sabalenka serves. Forehand Keys. Long.
Advantage, Sabalenka.
Yeah, she stood up, actually went inside the baseline to take that return then, and it was right onto her forehand. Little quarter step just to give herself a bit of room. Thumped it down the line. Sabalenka had no chance. She just had to pray that it was out, and it was.
Sabalenka with the advantage, and a forehand winner from Keys.
Oh, it's very strong mentally, isn't it, what she's putting out here for this final? Just the way she's standing up to Sabalenka's serve. I mean, a lot of players wouldn't be able to cope with the pace that's coming at them, but it's very quick early, compact take back, meeting the ball out in front and using the pace and sending it back. Keys was already, even though that was an aborted ball toss, Keys was already on the march forward to meet it.
Second juice of the game. Sabalenka's already saved a set point. She'll now have a game point for 2-5. And when we have seen her briefly go off the rails in, say, the quarterfinal against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova, she's been able to reset very, very quickly. If she is to lose this set, clearly the same is going to have to apply. Otherwise, she could be collecting a runners-up trophy here at the Australian Open. Keys with the forehand, stroking the ball with such confidence.
Great return. I mean, if you want to try and get some free points, you go to the Keys backhand, and yeah, that was a pretty decent serve right to the corner. The return was right back onto the toes. Sabalenka couldn't do much other than scoop it back, and Keys swiped it away for a winner. And it's coming off cleanly.
It is. That's how it was in the warm-up today. It was exactly like this.
Yeah. And she's almost impossible to stop when she's like this. It's only herself that can stop it.
Second serve for Sabalenka. Backhand return Keys. Sabalenka's backhand cross court. That was wonderfully well struck.
I guess that's the benefit of having your husband, who's a former tour player, just practicing and warming you up with big booming serves, and she was just middling every single one of them for returns in her, pre-match warm-up.
Game point Sabalenka. Backhand return Keys. Sabalenka with the forehand. Keys with the backhand into the net.
Game Sabalenka.
And so Sabalenka saves a set point and holds for 2-5, Gigi.
Well, this is flying by. 27 minutes on the clock. What time is it? 12 minutes past 9 back home. We're into the evening, gone past 8 o'clock. And I think if Sabalenka needs to think of something to get it into her mind to try and turn this around, how about their memorable matchup from the US Open semi-final in 2023?
Yeah, I was under so much pressure, and she was just like, it felt like she was just going for her shots and everything was going in, and she was just like, crashing it. I think at some moments she was just like start questioning herself, and I saw that, and I felt like, okay, now is the moment to make sure that you put as many balls back as you can. And I think that was the crucial moment, and I just turned around things. But yeah, she played incredible, aggressive tennis in that semis. And also, US Open courts are a little bit faster than here. So I think the conditions suit her really well there.
Well, at the moment, unfortunately for Aryna Sabalenka, Russell, Madison Keys is not questioning herself.
Not remotely, and I think probably one advantage about having thought incessantly about missing her opportunity in the US Open final of 2017, which kind of been a nice thing to have had on your mind for 7.5 years, is that tonight she has said to herself, I am going to play my game, I am going to go for it. If it doesn't come off, so be it. But so far she's doing exactly what she asked of herself, Pat.
But she tends to always do that. And I think that's her downfall.
Yeah, but she didn't show up on that particular occasion, did she? She froze and she didn't play her game.
The semi-final, as I said, was against Coco Vandeweghe I was coaching. It was the most incredible performance I've ever seen on the tennis court.
Yeah.
So, it's one or the, can be one or the other, but at the moment, we know which way it's going.
Keys leads 5-2, a shank on the forehand from Sabalenka, who looks skywards again. But yeah, the point you make is a very valid one. There are times where she's just blazing away from the baseline and missing and missing and missing and missing, and there's no plan B. But we've seen some subtlety in her approach in this final tonight.
Yeah, and through the tournament as well. She's willing to stay in rallies as long as she can. Doesn't have to hit the ball hard on the backhand. We know that's her weaker side. Her forehand's really strong, but she can do a bunch of backhand areas, but she's just making sure she makes it.
15-love Keys. She's serving for this first set. Really good depth on the approach. She's now got the short ball, but she has missed that forehand and then some Keys as she tries to go cross-court.
Well, that was a horror. That won't have felt too good, actually. That was no control on that ball. It was a little bit awkward because I think it was a slight miss-hit from Sabalenka. She was going backwards as she hit it. Managed to creep it over the net, but yeah, Keys missing by quite a distance there. Looked a little edgy on that forehand.
5-2, 15-all. She's trying to close out the first set. Backhand from Keys, wrong footing Sabalenka, hitting in behind her, but great defence from Sabalenka. And that's Keys netting with the backhand.
15. It's gone a little off in the last 5 minutes, hasn't it? So he's starting to think about things. Her husband looking a bit anxious on the sidelines, trying to gee her along.
A couple of big serves is what she needs, and she's got the big serve, that's for sure.
15-30 down. Forehand return Sabalenka. Keys with the forehand. Sabalenka's forehand down the line. Keys slices the backhand into the net. She's trying for that drop shot once again. That short sliced backhand. 14. And having had a set point, Sabalenka is now eyeing a chance to get one of the 2 breaks back from Madison
Do you think
Keys.
she was trying to drop shot then? Or she just mishit the slice?
I don't know.
Because if she tried to drop shot, that was the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. If she just mishit it, then okay.
Break point number 1. Backhand from Keys. Forehand Sabalenka. Keys cross court with the backhand. Sabalenka nets.
It also looks like she's gone a little bit tight and everything's gone more safe and sort of spinny and up the middle of the court. She's lost the sort of freedom that she was hitting with, and it's landing a lot shorter. And I would imagine Sabalenka's definitely sensing it, and that will give her a bit of a boost in the lift as well.
Big serves here for Keys, that's what she needs.
Break point number 2 for Sabalenka. Keys cross court with the backhand. Sabalenka's backhand. Keys, definitely not peaking as she was in the first 20 minutes of the match. Backhand into the middle of the net. She's conceded one of the breaks of serve. Louise Azamar Engzel of Sweden, our umpire, reading the score there. Keys 5, Sabalenka 3.
Well, she's remaining pretty calm, considering she's having a chat with her hubby over there, but there's no sort of scowling or throwing the towel. Then she's look at the scoreboard. Hey, it's 5-3. I've still got the breakup. Plenty of space to win this set.
Sabalenka serving to stay in the set for a second time. A slice backhand cross court from Keys, and Sabalenka makes the error with the backhand, whereas Keys' team are in one of the new coaching pods, actually on the court level inside the Rod Laver Arena. Aryna Sabalenka's team are in the more conventional position, the regular one, about 10 feet up in the first couple of rows of the stand, and that's because she says she wants to be able to see everybody there at the same time, and there are only 4 seats in the coaching pod, so she'd rather a bigger team was all together and up in the stand. Forehand into the net from Sabalenka.
Well, that was a fairly routine rally ball, that, and even though Keys has thrown in a couple of these slices which are a little awkward, but that forehand should be very disappointed she's missed that. Wasn't smooth, pulled off it.
Didn't quite get the feet right, did she? You can really tell what she's thinking, isn't she? She's sort of mimicked like that. I got squashed into that one.
Love 30, backhand misses, the return from Keys.
It's gone a bit ragged, the match, hasn't it? At the beginning, it was all about these winners from Keys and just brilliant play. OK, Sabalenka wasn't hitting too many great shots, but now it's kind of gone a bit clunky between the 2 of them. I think they're pulling both each other down.
And it's going to get very tight if Sabalenka can hang on to her serve here from 15-30 down. Backhand return Keys. Sabalenka cross court with a forehand. That's really well struck.
30 all.
Well, she definitely senses a level drop down the other end, Sabalenka, so she's going to try and take full advantage, because there's no way with what's just happened in the last 5 minutes that she doesn't still have a chance to get back in this set.
Yeah, a good body serve or to the backhand is what she wants. Don't go to the Keys forehand.
Misses, though, as she goes to the backhand.
Especially the players starting to doubt themselves. They'll start doubting their weaker side.
30 all. Second serve, Sabalenka serving to stay in the first set.
Shocker.
A massive double fault.
Talk about weaker side. I mean, that's 4 double faults now. They've all been costly.
Yeah,
sometimes they're not costly, aren't they, double faults? But they've always been costly.
Oh, that was an absolute gift, wasn't it? Handed across on a silver platter.
A gift-wrapped set point, a second set point for Madison Keys to win the first set of the women's singles final here in Melbourne. Backhand return from Keys, forehand Sabalenka. Keys with the backhand down the line. What a classy way to win the first set of a Grand Slam final. Keys
6 games to 3.
rocking a little bit over the last couple of games, but do not detract from that performance by the American. 8 years on from her first Grand Slam final, she's taken the first set by 6 games to 3 against the champion of 2023 and 2024. Aryna Sabalenka has it all to do, Gigi.
She certainly does, and what a way to wrap up the set as Aryna Sabalenka goes for a comfort break and a change of outfit, which means this is the perfect time coming to you live from the Australian Open at Melbourne Park to bring you the very latest news at 21 minutes past 9 here on 5 Live with Dan Maudsley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Well, thank you, Gigi, and it is perfect timing because I've been watching live pictures of huge crowds in Gaza City and in Tel Aviv because just in the last few minutes, 4 Israeli soldiers have been released under the Gaza ceasefire deal. The women were seen in Gaza City. They were in their military uniform and led up on stage there where they were smiling, punching the air with thumbs up and waving to the crowds there. They have since got into 4 Red Cross vehicles, which will now be taking them to Israel. And there are military helicopters which have been seen there, which will no doubt be taking them swiftly from the border there with Gaza. These 4 were seized from an army base on the border with Gaza when Hamas attacked Israel in October 2023. And of course, their release is the latest stage in the Gaza ceasefire deal. Some 200 Palestinians are due to be released from Israeli prisons as part of this latest exchange. You can keep up to date on everything that is happening on the BBC News live page and, of course, the live news service on BBC Sounds. In other news, power companies are trying to restore services to nearly 1 million households across the UK and Ireland, which were cut off as a result of Storm Io. In high winds brought down trees and power lines and tore the roofs off some buildings. And Network Rail Scotland says almost 400 incidents of damage have been reported. And disruption will continue until lunchtime, but the main line between Edinburgh and Newcastle has reopened.
What does it take to go racing in the fastest cars in the world? Oscar Piastri.
Your head's trying to get ripped one way, your body's trying to go another.
Lance Stroll.
It's very extreme in the sense of how close you're racing wheel to wheel.
We've been given unprecedented access to 2 of the most famous names in Formula One, McLaren and Aston Martin.
I'm Lando Norris, racing driver for McLaren Formula One team.
They opened the doors to their factories as the 2024 season reached its peak.
They work to build a beautiful bit of machinery that I get to then go and have fun in.
I'm Josh Hartnett. This is F1 Back at Base. Listen on BBC Sounds. Australian Open 2025 with Gigi Salmon
on 5 Live and BBC Sounds.
As we wait for the defending champion who's in a spot of bother to retake the court after a comfort break, I can bring you some other sports news. And Great Britain's Alfie Hewitt became the men's wheelchair champion for a second time here in Melbourne. Into football, and the Manchester City club captain Kyle Walker, he's joined AC Milan on loan with an option to buy. Now, there are 6 matches in the Premier League this afternoon. 5 Live will bring you commentary of Wolves against Arsenal at 3 o'clock. And then you've got Man City against Chelsea at 5:30. 5 Live also has commentary of Wolves against Arsenal and City against Chelsea. Oh, I'm just telling you again, just to make sure you know when they're going to happen and what you're going to be listening to. In cricket, and Australia have won the toss. We're still waiting for Aryna Sabalenka. They are batting first in the final T20 match of the Women's Ashes, and Fionn Wynne can bring us the latest.
Good morning. Yes, England just keeping Australia in check at the moment in the 17th over here in Adelaide as Australia reach 135 for 3. But opener Beth Mooney continues to be a thorn in England's side, unbeaten on 76 at the moment. So Australia looking for a big finish here in Adelaide, 135 for 3.
Fionn, thank you very much. Ball by ball commentary you can listen to right now over on Sports Extra. We have 2 players. We will start the second set, and with Madison Keys having broken the serve, it means she will kick things off in set 2, a set that if she wins, she will be a Grand Slam champion. So Keys, the white baseball cap on, peak front, the hair just a little ponytail tucked out the back, and she serves that wide to the Sabalenka forehand that goes deep and too deep. And Pat, a stat I didn't think I'd be using today, Sabalenka last lost in straight sets at a Grand Slam at the US Open in 2020. That is 5 seasons ago, 15 Grand Slams ago, and 86 matches ago.
Well, you would think she'd make a bit of a comeback here. It certainly did towards the end of that first set. Started playing a little bit better. Keys not quite as good.
Keys' serve just kicks that serve to the backhand that goes onto the service line. Cross court and low with the backhand goes Keys. Keys with the backhand through the centre of the court. The inside in from Sabalenka. Back down the line from Keys. Cross court backhand Sabalenka. Backhand down the line and long from Keys.
Oh, that was so nearly a very good shot. She lined it up.
She lined that one up on the set point, didn't she? That backhand down the line that we discussed at the beginning of the match. Once she feels confident with that and can go for it, then she's a different player. And she's obviously confident. She just missed that one, but a good mistake, I suppose, if it's possible.
Won the Adelaide tournament at the start of the season, one of the form players coming into the Australian Open. Serves centre of the box, a heavy forehand cross court. The squash shot chopped back off the forehand from Keys, who scampers and scurries and picks up the back, and a high ball smashed away. Didn't have any control. Sabalenka drops the racket. She cannot believe it. That was bread and butter. That should have been as easy as it comes. She misses the court, and it's 30-15.
Well, it just feels like it's just a horror day for her. I mean, she played a much better point there. It was well constructed. It's one of the few points where you feel like she's completely starting to get in control of things, and then she misses the final finish. It's a great big feather that's just landed in front of Keys on the court.
The serve out wide into the body, the backhand bunted back by Sabalenka. Switches to the forehand, hooks that cross-court mid-court. Forehand cross-court deep from Keys. Keys on the stretch, squash shots that ball off the forehand side. The drop shot, perfection from Sabalenka to drop shot Keys. Take the point, pump the fist, and lock us in at 30-all. First game.
How big was that smash then?
Yeah.
There were 2 break points here. I mean, that was an incredibly easy smash.
30-all. First game, second set. Keys with the first set 6-3. Serve out wide. Misses its mark, heading to the forehand of Sabalenka. Ball girl scurries forward, scoops up the loose ball back beside the clock at the back of the court. Keys a couple of bounces, rocks back on her heels, tosses up the ball and serves out wide. Forehand crunch down the line. Have that, says Aryna Sabalenka, and it is break point.
Well, it just definitely feels like she's flicked a bit of a switch and things have changed. I think it was so important for her, even though she didn't come away with that first set, that she got herself back into it, and it's enabled her to start this second one a little bit better.
Yeah, ground strokes are working well. I'm so sure about the smash.
Keys comes forward, slices off the backhand on the approach, tried to cross-court winner. Sabalenka leaps up in the air, ball ends up in the net, break point's gone.
She's done a hop, skip and a jump after that one. Very irritated with the way that I mean, she's not playing anywhere close to her best tennis and what she's capable of. I still wouldn't be ruling her out, though.
Yeah, she's just creeping back a little bit. Just then you think, she's got it now. Then she misses a really simple forehand passing shot.
Keys into the body, it's bunted back mid-court. Keys swings the backhand down the line, tried to go back up the line. Sabalenka gets it all wrong, doesn't get the connection, and from break point down, it's now game point to the American.
Well, didn't do much with that ball there, Keys, but did enough. It was a short, awkward backhand that she was drawn, forced to come forward, just hit it down the line reasonably hard, nothing crazy. That's the control, better control player.
Backhand to the feet and down on her haunches. Keys with a forehand. She's going inside out. She tried to go inside in, didn't move the feet, finds the net. Juice just rolling the shoulders as she walks to the back of the court, Madison Keys.
That one skidded a little bit low on it, lower than she expected. Maybe a little bit quicker as well, but certainly very makeable. Hasn't missed many forehands today. We usually see one that flies into about the 10th row, don't we, of Keys? We haven't seen that today yet.
Kicks the serve down the tee, the off backhand return, the forehand netted for Keys, and a second opportunity for Sabalenka to break.
She's definitely come off the boil. I mean, she wasn't hitting shots like that at the start of this match. There was way more freedom through the shoulders and the upper body, and now it's got a little bit tense up there. I think she's trusting herself a lot less. A really anguished look on her face after that. She needs to try and stay positive in her mind.
And she does that by acing down the tee to save break point, and then she will stride purposefully to the side of the court and just take a couple of extra seconds to use the towel.
Yeah, she's sweating quite a lot. Doesn't have wristbands, so there's an absorbent over grip. But even if they get a bit wet, they get slippery.
Pause from Key. She reaches up. The wind has died down. Serves out wide. Forehand to the feet. The backhand. It's like she's proposing to that ball. Down on one knee. Down she goes again. The backhand down the line. The proposal is accepted. It's a winner. And it's game point.
Well, you talked about the backhand down the line, Pat. I don't think they come much better than that one we've just witnessed. I mean, using her legs so well, absorbing the pace. Twice she was down with her knees on the floor. But what a shot that was.
Chance to get the first game of the second set on the board. Serve to the backhand, it is netted. Couple of opportunities in that game for Aryna Sabalenka to get the break, but importantly, Pat, for Madison Keys, she holds serve, so leads by a set and 1 love.
Yeah, that's a huge hold. You know, because she was, you know, it's important after the first set. We could feel that it's not as easy as it was as free flowing in the first set. Sabalenka was in control on a couple of those points. Keys got lucky with a really poor smash from Sabalenka. As 3 or 4 rackets come out, Sabalenka wanted to get a different string set up. Maybe, I don't know, a lot tighter or looser. I'm not sure what. Usually probably tighter since they're brand new. But
she got a lot of rackets out there, didn't she?
And so, Keys got to. Well, Sabalenka didn't grab the opportunity, and you need to in finals. And now struggling with her serve. She's improved her serving percentage a bit since the early part of the set, but this is not the end of the world, but very important that she holds serve here.
Starting to hear the seagulls circling. Annabelle's already spotted feathers falling. We never know what they're getting up to when the feathers start falling. Was it you, Annabelle, that thought it was a carcass that might be up there?
I did wonder that, because we had quite a few in a row.
Backhand down the line from Keys, forehand flip cross-court, deep and too deep.
They were massive feathers as well, weren't they? I mean, that was a big bird.
But there was no... It was a big bird, but we don't think it was from a dead bird.
Maybe it wasn't a seagull.
I don't know what it was. It was honestly big. Albatross.
Oh, dear.
Pelican.
Yeah. It can get quite dangerous, the seagulls, at this time of night. Sometimes they let rip. Forehand flip cross-court as Sabalenka lets rip with the forehand. Then she cushions the volley. Keys gets to it. The lob goes up. The smash from Sabalenka into the body of Keys, who just put her racket up to stop herself getting hit. Such was the force. The apology from Sabalenka. The point to the defending champion.
15-0.
Well, she sort of ran into that smash, didn't he? Sabalenka, having missed a smash in the previous game, played a little bit safer there, sort of going down the middle, and Keys figured that she's going to go wide. And she literally ran into the ball.
Kind of hit her on the side of the head,
didn't
it?
Sabalenka apologised. Keys got a bit of a laugh, go, well, it's not your fault, I ran into the ball.
15-all. Sabalenka in the yellow dress. Serves deep. It's the same brand, different colours. Sabalenka with her hair scraped back into a messy bun. White socks, white shoes. Leans forward on her toes, rocks back on the heels, the high ball toss, and serves down the tee, and it is an ace.
Cool. It's been more out than in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly was. A couple of those now, hasn't she, Sabalenka? Edge of the line.
Would you believe that was just her first ace of the final, Sabalenka? 30-15. ricochets off the top of the net and drifts wide. Ball boy scurries forward, scoops it up, gets back into position. Madison Keys takes a little step towards the baseline, wide stance, leaning forward, swaying from side to side to put the pressure on. She's inside the baseline. She hits the backhand to the feet, the backhand down line, redirected by Sabalenka. Sabalenka with the forehand goes inside out. She's moving Keys around. She cannot control the ball. She lost her balance, and it is 30-all.
Just over-hitting there. Not quite sure what she was trying to do. I mean, it was nowhere close to the target, and Keys wasn't hitting with a lot of depth. She had plenty of time on that ball. Just did too much with it. She's just not trusting herself. Too many unforced errors in this match for her. 18 now. That's quite a high number.
There's that tension, isn't there? She's like trying hard. I know she's trying, but sometimes you try too hard, you just lock up a little bit, and what's happening?
Serve down the tee. The slice floated cross-court from Sabalenka, who's on her toes. That's a little bit loose and wild from Keys.
Well, I did think that Sabalenka would use the slice backhand today, but that wasn't one of her better ones. I mean, it didn't have much on it, and it sat there kind of rather invitingly, and Keys just lost complete control of the ball. I mean, the level has really dropped, hasn't it?
No, we're trying to keep the listeners so out above. It's a gripping final.
Well, it is gripping.
It is gripping, that's for sure. You don't know what's coming next. Don't know what mistake is coming next.
For bad reasons.
No, it's dramatic, but it's just not. It's a fluctuating level. It's not like points are being won with good, positive tennis. It's being won with a lot of errors.
It's a game of peace. It's the start of the second set. A set that if Madison Keys wins, she'll become a Grand Slam champion at the second attempt. Aryna Sabalenka is looking for 3 in a row here in Australia. The last place to do that was Martina Hingis, 97-99.
There was a couple of good rallies in the previous game, the game before or last, so let's hope that they can start putting them together.
Keys serves to the backhand down the line.
Wow.
How about that?
And we talked about that getting the match out of Bell, that backhand return.
Yeah.
Sabalenka, once it gets going. And these are two players who aren't really going to go backwards, are they, into their shell there. You see Keys did a little bit, but they're going to continue to swing. And it can be brilliant or it can be disastrous. We've seen quite a bit of disastrous stuff.
Sabalenka's inside the baseline. She drops shots over on the return. Then she scoots forward with a backhand, goes down the line, clips the top of the net. Got a big slice of luck, Aryna Sabalenka. She does the sorry, not sorry with the hand. And she takes the point for love 30.
Just a different look about her at the moment. There's more of a sense of urgency, purpose. She's moving better. There's more energy coming through her legs. I just feel like she suddenly kind of flicked a switch. She's ready to start playing.
She's a bit lucky there. Then down the backhand pass down the line, and Keys was right there, and the ball bobbled over her racket after hitting the net.
Forehand slice off the return is netted, and Sabalenka wrinkles up her nose. She's at the end of her coaching box, who are just leaning forward in their seats, applauding their charge. So the wide stance of Sabalenka. Still got an opportunity here at 15:30. Keys with the serve. Aces down the tee for her 4th ace, and that window of opportunity is momentarily shut.
The serve's having some good success with that tee serve, hasn't she? And she can use both the wide one or the one down the middle on this side of the court, the first side. And she goes down the middle.
The backhand is blocked back by Sabalenka. Sabalenka with the forehand spins the ball cross-court and deep. And cross-court to the service line goes Keys. Down the line goes Sabalenka, who scurries to the backhand side and slides and floats that ball in. A double-hander from Sabalenka, cross-court to the double-hander, netted from Madison Keys. And we have a break point opportunity for the world #1 and defending champion.
30-14.
Just mixing the slice backhand into that last rally. A couple of really quite good ones, which stayed low, and it's just giving Keys a different look at a ball and just slightly taking away her rhythm.
Opportunity to get the break. The serve. Under pressure, ace out wide, break point saved. Keys looking down. You can't see her eyes. It's masked by the peak of the baseball cap. She now looks across, tosses the ball up high, and she will serve down the tee. The off backhand from Sabalenka. Sabalenka double-handed backhand, crunching that ball. She swivels Sabalenka and goes inside out forward into the corner. It is loose from Keys. There's a roar from Sabalenka, and she has another opportunity to break the Keys serve.
Well, the ball kid next, well, she was actually underneath the umpire's chair, had to actually duck there as the ball came towards her. So that was really caught very late, that ball for Keys.
Can she get the early break, the early opening? Serve out wide. No, she can't.
Another good serve.
Again, it's a great serve from Keys.
I hate to say this, but the ball girl who had run from the umpires chair to the other side of the net actually had to duck again.
We always knew it'd be that kind of match, didn't we?
I know. Two balls she's had to swerve her head out of the way of. She's quite well outside the, the court markings.
There's a big serve. Went wide there, 189 Ks, 117 miles. So she's really seeing the accuracy on the second court. Here she's at deuce on the first court here, second serve.
Sabalenka wide stance on the baseline. It's a soft serve. It gets
Really
the treatment from Sabalenka, and it's breakpoint opportunity number 3.
Advantage Sabalenka.
Probably the softest serve of the match. I said 70 miles an hour. But it was in. That's the first thing. Sabalenka had to do something with it. She did.
Opportunity to get the break, and she has a second serve to look at. So Sabalenka will step forward to try and put as much pressure as she can on the Keys' second serve. She'll take it early. She'll look to attack. The ball goes up. It comes out. It's a soft serve. The backhand down the line. Keys stretches. The serve wasn't good enough. Sabalenka finally takes advantage. A fist bump to her box, who man to a man, because they are all male, are on their feet. And she has the early advantage, 2-1. So this is the perfect time here on 5 live from Melbourne Park, the Australian Open Women's Singles Final, to hear from Aryna Sabalenka's coach, Anton Dubrov, who's explaining, and has been explaining, the keys behind her ascent to the top of the sport.
She can keep the same pressure on the opponent all the time, and she understands, like, if she will not play her best game, that she still has chances, just because she's gonna be solid on the court, without trying to play like a Russian roulette. It's everything or nothing. No, she still understands that even in the bad days, she have a lot of things she can do on the court, and she knows that it's gonna hurt opponent a lot, and she's gonna have her chances. Because back in the days, it was more about she was chasing the perfect game, and if it wasn't perfect, that's it. I'm done. Like, opponent play unbelievable, weather, I'm playing terrible, blah, blah. Right now, she can adapt again and shift like to something else and put the same pressure on the opponent all the time. So, and the opponents, they know that they're going to face Aryna and she can change. And I think the top players, they are like, why they top is because this pressure, they just keep it there all the time.
It's getting to a crucial time in the cricket. If you'd like ball-by-ball commentary of that, that's over on 5 Sports Extra. Final ball of the innings for you there. Here it is, the first ball of the 4th game of the second set. Sabalenka's crouched down on her knees, hits the forehand cross-court to the Keys forehand down the line. Keys comes forward, scampers back, but just the wrong side of the sideline for Sabalenka, and it's love 15.
Well, Keys might actually loosen up now. And she's down the break. Swing a little bit more freely, get back to that first set. Comfortable swinging, controlled stuff.
Bouncing comes to an end for Sabalenka. Rocks back, up goes the ball. Clips the top of the net. So she swivels around to take a new ball. She's already handed some more rackets to be changed again. So she got 3 back, and she's just now handed 3 back again. So still making up her mind and working out what she needs. The serve down the tee. It's a mid-court high ball, but Keys reads it, goes forehand cross-court. The volley sits up for Keys for the backhand cross-court pass. Love 30.
Well, not the greatest approach shot, but a good passing shot from Keys. Straight, pretty much straight down the middle. Slightly cross-court. She loves that cross-court forehand, and Sabalenka just poked at it, and it just popped back in the middle of the court onto the Keys backhand, and Sabalenka sitting duck, throws her arms up and goes, what's going on?
Serve down the tee, it is blocked back, it will land in the forehand mid-court down the line from Sabalenka. Sabalenka doesn't need to play the follow-up forehand, it's long from Keys.
15-30.
That one really stayed low, didn't it? That Sabalenka shot the Keys back in. It's almost like it hit something on the court and just grass court bounce.
15-30, 2-1 with the break, Aryna Sabalenka. It's the women's singles final. Sabalenka serves ricochets off the top of the tape and flies out wide. Keys bouncing up and down on his toes, keeping herself loose. All the photographer's lenses are trained on the defending champion. What is she going to do? 15-30 down, but a break up. Serve kicks up, the backhand flies long, and it's 30 all.
Yeah, she didn't really get hold of that backhand, and it just kind of reared up a little bit, but she didn't get the racket head through in time, and just a bit loose there.
Yeah, that's a good serve to Keys if you can get that one up there, above her shoulders. Not many players can do that.
30 all. Aryna Sabalenka serves and misses down the tee. Takes the ball from the shorts on the left-hand side. There's a big sigh she lets off there before she gets back into her service motion. The swaying, the rhythmical swaying of Keys down the other end. Keys steps up onto the baseline, plays a double-handed backhand, and it is long, and it is love. 30 now, game point for Aryna Sabalenka.
A couple of second serves there, just bounce them up high.
Yeah.
Keys missed both of those. Maybe that is the opportunity, not in the rallies to actually get the ball up high into her back end, but just on the second serve or even a change up first serve just to get the ball up there. She can get some errors.
To consolidate the break, the serve out wide, and there it is. That was very, very important for Aryna Sabalenka, not just to get the break, but to consolidate for a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a different look about her, sort of her body language, the walk, everything about her. She's giving off much more positivity, even though the tennis isn't where she wants it to be, but there's just a different feeling about her. And of course, Keys will be reading that as well, so it's kind of having this sort of balancing act between the two of them, what's going on.
Yeah, it's almost a little awkward, isn't it, when things go too easily. You think, the person who's a #1 player in the world, you're thinking, they're going to come good at some stage. I hope they don't, but probably are.
Keys with a forehand cross court, just nudges inside the line. That's a high ball now. Sabalenka is picking the high balls up, and she's drawing an error.
Clever play. Didn't think we'd seen many moon ball bouncy ones today, but that was very clever.
Yeah, it was.
It's just one of those strings to her bow that she's added, isn't it? That was slices and a few extra things.
Love 15. Keys with a serve down the tee misses. A reminder that we've got coverage of the men's singles final between Jannik Sinner, who's the world #1 and defending champion, and Sasha Zverev, the world #2. That will also be from 8:20 tomorrow morning here on 5 Live. And it'll be followed by 5 Live Premier League Sunday as Sabalenka nets off the returning serve. And in Premier League Sunday, we're going to have commentary of Tottenham against Leicester and then Aston Villa against West Ham.
Well, that was a horror return of serve. I mean, it was straight into the strike zone of Sabalenka. I mean, she pulled a face after it, but she just slammed it straight into the bottom of the net.
15 all. Keys down the tee. The backhand, that's a high ball. She's trying to get these balls up higher, Sabalenka. Oh, she goes drop shot. Oh, a lovely disguise, the perfect execution, and she gets herself an opening now at 15-30.
15-30.
Well, she's kind of throwing in lots of junk, isn't she,
Yeah,
Pat?
it's actually quite, variety, a bit of variety there. I mean, it did look like she was going to wind up for a forehand, and Keys has picked those good approach shots, so tried the drop shot. Well done.
Ooh, and a second serve now for Sabalenka to look at to try and bring up break points. Anything short, it will be leapt upon by Sabalenka. Keys knows that. It's a soft serve. The backhand cross got to the service line, into the net from Keys, and it's break points.
Well, that's that good backhand return that we talked about ahead of this match. You know, I've always likened it a little bit to Serena's, where she gets right round the outside of the ball, leans in on it, gets incredible angle behind it. But Keys, everything's just tightened up, really. It's just gone a little clunky. Too many unforced errors. Not playing the way she was at the start of this match.
She's looking to win 4 games in a row here. Sabalenka, the approach. Can she pass Keys? Yes, she can! The defending champion is back. A double break, a 4-1 lead in the second set.
Sabalenka leads by 4 games to 1.
That was one heck of a roar. We're used to her roaring every time she hits the ball. It was deafening, her screeches. And fair enough, after that one, Keys came forward off a very good serve. There was a short reply from Sabalenka. She just sort of blocked the forehand and down the line, and Keys hit a nice shot. Wrong footing Sabalenka, but she just hooked that straight right across the front of Keys for a winner. And the roar.
And credit to Sabalenka, Annabelle, because she is thinking out there. She's thinking clearly out there because you said she's throwing in the junk. We've got some high balls getting up into the weak spot of Keys, that the backhand side, and she's drawing the errors.
Yeah, she is. She's pulled the level down of Keys. She's made her feel a little less comfortable. She's not giving her balls that enable her to sort of set up and strike the way she was. And when you compare the Keys that we're looking at now to the one that started the match, she's a completely different player. You know, she's not controlling the baseline. She's not thumping winners into the corners, playing with a lot of freedom and abandon. You know, she's thinking about her strokes more and, you know, a lot more unforced errors.
4-1 with a double break. Sabalenka to serve.
Let's
mentioned the raw. She has a tattoo of a tiger on her left forearm. She says it's because she was born in the year of the tiger. She has tiger shoelaces and also a tiger stitched into her shoes. She serves down the tee. The backhand comes middle of the court. Down on one knee goes Sabalenka, and cross-court passing shot. The left Sabalenka rooted to the court from Keys.
She looks pretty dejected after that. Sabalenka just left standing and staring at it once again, shaking her head. Can't believe what just happened.
Yeah, where did that come from, Keys? I think it's just a perfectly clean shot. We didn't exactly mean to hit it that well. It just came off perfectly.
So 4-1 with the double break. Sabalenka's won 20 consecutive matches here at Melbourne Park. Serves out wide. It's a short ball. She goes back behind Madison Keys. It was the right idea, but she drops her racket in frustration because what should have been straightforward, she almost overran the ball.
Well, it's almost disgust the way she dropped her racket there. She's raising her head to the sky, trying to smile about it. I think the ball did a little bit of a kink, didn't it, when it bounced, I think?
Yeah, she just kind of ran into it a bit, got a bit close and couldn't get the spin required.
Oof, there's a return from Keys. In comes Sabalenka. Into the net goes Keys. Good pressure from Sabalenka to come forward.
15.
Yeah, she hit that wide serve, cross-court forehand, which is Keys' favourite, and she's obviously well aware that's going to more than likely come there. She hit that forehand and just down the line and then ran in, straight in, and wasn't that difficult passing shot, but the fact that she was at the net really threw Keys off.
4-1, 15-30. Sabalenka tosses up the ball into the night sky, goes down the tee, comes back up the line, back down the line goes Sabalenka. Sabalenka with double-handed backhand. She's really letting us know how she's feeling right now. She slices up the line, the forehand back down the line from Keys, backhand cross-court, high on that ball from Sabalenka, flattened out down the line from Keys. Keys with double-handed backhand down the line again, forehand back up the line from Sabalenka. Cross-court for the winner to finish off the point from Madison Keys for break points.
I think that's one of the best backhands we've seen of the entire match, to be honest with you. It's a much better rally from both of them. Starting to get a bit more rhythm and just absolutely smacked that one. Planted her right foot, leant into it, perfectly balanced, and really got a good strike through the court.
Breakpoint opportunities to get one of the breaks back. 15-40. Sabalenka is ready, swaying from side to side is Keys. Keys stretches for the backhand, but it was a good serve. It did the job. The first break point saved.
30-40.
Yeah, big serve right down the middle of the court. 180 Ks, 112 miles, right under the line.
Madison Keys just tying up the left shoelace. She's back in position, that wide stance, leaning forward, swaying from side to side. The bouncing from Sabalenka stops. She still has a break point to save at 30-40 down and serves out wide. They don't come much better than that.
I think I must be almost just about out as well. No, smack in the middle of the line. Great couple of serves. Both to the one down the middle and one wide. Good variety.
Deuce, 4-1. Sabalenka serves down the tee. The stretch from Keys, it's mid-court ball. It's the drop shot. You saw the change on the grip, the pick-up from Keys. She's used the drop shot so well in this final.
She has. It looks like that was a good time to do that, because there was another one of those balls that just started dropping low, which would have meant that she'd have to get under the ball, hit with more topspin, less power. And Keys just about got there. There was just good time for that shot.
Sabalenka says that whenever she goes to drop shot, her team put their head in their hands.
Really? She's hit some good ones.
It was today, yeah.
A point for 5-1. Second serve out wide. The backhand's in play down the line. The forehand has switched cross-court deep from Sabalenka. Oh my word! On the run, forehand slapped down the line. Even Sabalenka applauded the shot of Madison Keys.
She's dangerous when she's on the run, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes she's even more dangerous when she's running out wide. You think she's on the full stretch, and she manages to get the body weight behind the ball and just get that racket head through the court.
Really solid. We look at the replay there. Everything was just solid. Nothing was wobbly. Balance was great. Just the arm coming there. It's very Djokovic style, wasn't it? Like that. Just
Juice down the tee, the inside-out forehand from Sabalenka. The floated backhand slice sits up for the inside-out netted forehand from Sabalenka. And the third breakpoint opportunity of this game for Madison Keys.
It's a ball like that where you don't always trust Sabalenka because that didn't have any pace on it. She had plenty of time. She wasn't under stress and yet still missed it.
Keys with a chance to get one of these breaks back. She is 1-4 down in the second set, but she is a set to the good. As Sabalenka serves down the tee, it's blocked back up the line. It's cut cross-court by Sabalenka. The touch and the feel is exquisite from the defending champion, and she saves the third break point.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
That was very good control because it was pretty clear pretty quickly what she was going to do, but gee, she had to execute that. She was right out inside the doubles line, and then she did it cross court any less, and the whole court would have been open and Keys would have got there and pushed it down the line for an easy winner.
Juice serve out wide, return, lands in. Forehand up the line from Sabalenka, rolled into that by Madison Keys, who looked like she half wasn't expecting it to come back to her.
Yeah, I don't know whether she changed her mind when she hit that. It was a weird looking shot. I mean, it wasn't a top spin, it wasn't really a slice. I just sort of, she almost bunted it into the bottom of the net, didn't she? Like a cricket shot. It was weird.
Is it the nets and the cricket?
We have cricket for you over on 5 Sports Extra. No, Pat, you've got to stay here. Can't go and listen to the cricket. Game point, serve out wide. There it is. The second break has been consolidated. And it is Aryna Sabalenka, the defending champion. Remember, Madison Keys had 5-1 in the first, closed it out 6-3.
Sabalenka.
Now it's Aryna Sabalenka who's in control of the set at 5-1.
Well, the two slowest shots to the back end, the last 2 points. Keys just plonked them both in the bottom of the net. And she doesn't mind a bit of pace. And you go back to when she played the US Open final. Sloane Stephens just hit a lot of slow moon balls there, and Keys just got frustrated, got worse and worse and worse. I'm not saying that Sabalenka's going to do that, but it's interesting you see she hits the ball hard. Keys quite likes that.
Serving to stay the set, Madison Keys at 1-5 wins the first points of game number 7. Sabalenka ready. It's a very wide stance from Sabalenka. The bend in the knee. She hops on her toes. It was going out to the backhand side.
It's very, very wide. It's very unusual. I think it's too wide.
I do too.
It's like a sumo squat.
You can't move. You can't move quickly.
She hops up, brings the legs together, goes backhand cross court. The backhand cross court from Keys. The backhand, that was hit with venom. But it's redirected and absorbed by Keys, who puts the forehand up the line. Backhand slice, floats deep from Sabalenka. Cross court and wide goes Keys.
I feel like she's really bringing her level. It's slow, but it's happening, and she's bringing it up inch by inch, and she's definitely starting to stress Keys a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a variety. I wouldn't have said that Sabalenka's variety is going to win this match, but so far in this set it has been. Slower second serves and slices and drop shots.
For serve. Appreciation because she hit the tweener off the long serve.
It's actually behind her back.
Behind the backer? Behind the back in a row? How do you call that? I don't know.
I think that sounds good.
Yeah, quite close enough.
It works. 15 all.
That was a soft second serve.
Well, if another one of those is coming down, the eyes are going to widen of Aryna Sabalenka. She steps up to the baseline, says, try that again, and we'll see what happens. Serve goes out wide, more on that. It's cut back to the feet of Keys, who goes back to the forehand. It just slips a little bit, Sabalenka, as she was stretching to the forehand side.
30 for 10.
Good second serve. After that really slow second serve to the backhand, she put a bit more on that one, out to the forehand. Caught Sabalenka a little off guard. Well, certainly the second one, she completely mistimed that. Again, just sort of snapping at the ball from time to time.
That serve sat up the backhand, brought down by Sabalenka, hits a forehand, spins that, sits up, flattened out, cross-court from Keys, squash shot from Sabalenka, who's back in position. It's 30-15 Keys serving to stay in the set. It's long from Sabalenka, and it's game point Keys.
Yeah, she knew as soon as she'd hit that shot that was sailing too long. Flew off the strings too quickly. Turns around, faces our commentary box, takes a great big sigh, and then walks back into position.
Seagulls are gathering, growing in interest. Ball girl has the ball safe and sound at the back of the court. 9 o'clock local time here in Melbourne. As Keys serves down the tee, the backhand is netted down the line, and that is a hole for Madison Keys. She does, Sabalenka, have the cushion of a double break, but Keys will ask her the questions very shortly. The defending champion will be serving to take us to a deciding set. And Russell, as Annabelle said, slowly but surely, Aryna Sabalenka is just working her way back into this final.
Ominous for Madison Keys in many ways, isn't it? Although, remember how she equipped herself in the third set against Iga Świątek, saving a match point before winning in the third set tiebreak. Sabalenka's serving so much better here, isn't she, in the second set, which obviously makes a huge difference to her. She lost the first set against Lena Rybakina when she won the Australian Open title 2 years ago, so she's got experience of coming from behind, and I think the way we've seen her play in this second set sums up the Aryna Sabalenka we've seen over the last couple of years. She doesn't panic in the same way, does she? She knows, she trusts herself that she can turn it around, but I'm not writing Keys off because she's just been fantastic throughout the 2 weeks.
Well, yes, she has. I don't feel that her level in this match, okay, at the start of the match was absolutely breathtaking, and it wasn't great from Sabalenka, but I think she's a little bit up and down in this. I mean, I'm not completely trusting her. I think either could win at this stage. I mean, we're not sure if we're going to get to the final set yet, but it looks like we will be. But I just feel like neither of them, we haven't had both of them playing really, really well at the same time. And it would be nice if we could get to that point as we go into a final set, if we do.
Maybe that's what's in store for us in the final set. You'll hear here on 5 Live. The backhand through the middle of court from Sabalenka, netted off the backhand from Keys, and Aryna Sabalenka is 3 points from taking us the distance in this women's singles final at the first Grand Slam of the year, the Australian Open, the men's final to come tomorrow. Jannik Sinner against Sasha Zverev, with you from 8:20 in the morning. But for now, work to do for both Aryna Sabalenka and Keys. Keys hits the backhand, cross-gone to the sideline. The backhand a little bit more through the centre from Sabalenka. Goes down the line with her forehand. The slice down the line from Keys. The drop shot from Sabalenka. Keys just started her move to the net a little bit too late due to the disguise from Sabalenka. And the world number one needs 2 points to take us the distance.
Yeah, she's kind of stringing together all these junky shots, but they're very effective. And you can see how she holds the ball on the strings while she's playing these drop shots, or sometimes they're like slice forehands or sliced backhands. And they're not even drop shots, they're kind of short slices. And they're very clever. And they have a lot of feel and touch on them.
Forehand snap back off the serve, redirected down the line from Sabalenka. Sabalenka opens up on the back. Oh, she drop shots again. She cuts it short and into the net. And these short sliced balls are doing so much damage to Madison Keys. Triple set point for Sabalenka.
Yeah, Keys won't have felt great after that one. She was a bit sluggish coming forward. She looked uncomfortable. She's kind of slapped it into the middle of the net. This has not been a great set of tennis from her.
5-2, 40 love. Defending champion, world number one. A point to take us to 3 sets. Serve out wide, kicks up, backhand down the line, forehand into the net. And that is the first set point saved. Madison Keys looks at the strings on her racket. There's a slight breeze blowing her skirt. She's got this strapping on the left thigh, the white baseball cap on, the two-tone green outfit, the white socks, white shoes. Sabalenka in the yellow dress, white socks, white shoes. Hair tied back into a messy bun. Serves now. Second set point at 5-2. Up goes the ball. Serves down the tee and misses. As the ball thunders off the glass of our commentary box window. Sabalenka, the little look up, look down. Can she close out this set? Serve goes into the net, and it is a double fault, and the second set point is gone, and Sabalenka cannot believe it.
That's a curtsy.
Well, she sort of sunk down into that one, and it never feels great when you hit a double fault into the net anyway, does it? I mean, it's better. It feels better when you miss it long, because at least you were being aggressive and you got it over the net, whereas that one was quite sort of cramped, low ball toss into the bottom of the net, almost going backwards when she hit it.
Third set point, Sabalenka serves out wide, the backhand down the line, it's chopped back by Sabalenka, in comes Keys with a forehand, and she's missed it. Keys goes long with the forehand, and we're going the distance here on the Rod Laver Arena as the defending champion and world #1 fights back. They have split sets, 6-2 the second set for Aryna Sabalenka. So all to play for, one set to decide who'll be crowned the Australian Open champion for 2025. You're going to hear every ball here on 5 Live, but not before the news at 10:05 with Dan Maudsley.
The voice of the UK.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Well, thank you. As you joined me at the end of the first set, we were seeing those pictures of 4 Israeli hostages, 4 female soldiers being handed over to the Red Cross in Gaza City by Hamas fighters. Just in the last few moments, we have heard from the IDF spokesman Daniel Hagari confirming that those 4 soldiers have now reached Israeli territory, and he said they would now that Israel saluted and embraced them as they reunited with their family. He concluded saying, "Our mission is not over until every single hostage comes home." The 4 returning soldiers today, this is as part of the Gaza ceasefire deal, Daniela Gilboa, Liri Elbag, Naama Levy and Karina Ariev. They were all taken 15 months ago when Hamas fighters swept into Israel. They'd been stationed at the border. The latest we're hearing is that they have, as I say, crossed now into Israel and are on their way to the initial absorption point in the Gaza Strip, where they will meet with their parents. The other side of this is that Israel will be freeing around 200 Palestinians held in Israeli prisons. That process is also getting underway. We will keep you updated. There is full coverage on the BBC Live page and on the BBC News live service on BBC Sounds. In other news, the clean-up efforts are underway across the UK and Ireland in the wake of Storm Éowyn. Hundreds of trees have fallen down and roofs have been ripped off homes. Nearly 1 million households are still without power across the UK and Ireland. ScotRail services are cancelled till midday at the earliest. And the US government has halted spending on almost all foreign aid projects while a review is carried out. The move could potentially affect Ukraine, which received billions of dollars in American military aid under the Biden administration.
The Gladiator will be unleashed.
Bigger.
Brand new Gladiators.
Better.
Don't those Gladiators look ready?
And tougher than ever.
She hits hard. This game isn't easy. Let's go! Bring on the next contender!
She was always going down.
The Gladiators will do anything to win.
That's terrifying.
Gladiators!
Gladiators Series 2. Back tougher. Watch on BBC iPlayer.
Australian Open 2025 with Gigi Salmon on 5 Live
and BBC Sounds.
Welcome back to Melbourne Park. It is the final set of the Australian Open Women's Singles Final 2025. Who's going to be crowned champion? Madison Keys or Aryna Sabalenka? You'll find out in the company of Pat Cash, Annabelle Croft and Russell Fuller.
Madison Keys playing in her 46th Grand Slam. Only Flavia Pennetta of Italy at the US Open and Marion Bartoli at Wimbledon have taken longer to win a maiden Grand Slam title. She's lost the second set by 6-2, though, to the champion Aryna Sabalenka, but is starting to decide it very confidently, Keys. That's an ace, and she's held to love to take the opening game of the set that will decide the women's champion in 2025. And that felt like a good moment to press the reset button, Annabelle and Pat, after a shakier second set performance.
Yeah, it definitely did. I mean, I'm going to be honest, I think that the level has been very fluctuating between the two of them, and I think this crowd are really waiting to see some really fabulous tennis between the two when we get them both playing well at the same time, and they seem to be toing and froing between each of them, and it's quite an awkward watch. But that was a much better reset from Keys after that middle set, and she's bouncing around now, and both of them want to try and be really competitive and bring their level up.
It so often happens in finals that you can't always play your best tennis, but you just got to play well enough.
Sabalenka now, after the change of ends, is commentary box end and getting a service winner as Madison Keys goes long with the backhand return.
Yeah, we've just seen too many unforced errors from one player and then the next set.
Yeah, so 26 from Sabalenka and 24 from Keys. That's a lot of unforced errors to be winning points with, isn't it?
The deciding set of that pulsating semi-final between Keys and Iga Świątek, after quite a few breaks of serve in the opening two sets, saw 10 consecutive holds of serve up until 5-all. Sabalenka with real intent on that forehand cross-court winner.
30 love.
Well, that's a really decent shot. And used her legs once again, which she so often does. Doesn't want to be pushed back behind that baseline, hogs it, stays up close to it. Really struck that ball well.
30 love, Sabalenka.
That was the return that got Świątek into so much trouble in the semi-final of Keys. Just hard, straight down the middle. Just time and time and time and time again, just won the point from that. Not against Sabalenka, though.
Sabalenka's second serve, now a backhand cross-court from her. She has Keys on the defence, and there's that drop shot which hits the tape on this occasion.
30-15.
Well, it's really hard to predict what's coming next, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, I thought she was playing a good point there. Two great strikes off the back. Looked like she'd hit that drop shot quite well, and then it hits the tape.
Yeah, just did too much. Too big a backswing, too big a follow through, too big a side. She needed to just block it. A lot of flourishing going on there.
Ace-T, Sabalenka.
When we see her ball toss from this position, Pat, it's really high, isn't it?
And that's why she has double fault problems. Yeah. No doubt, 100%.
I mean, it's so high. She's waiting such a long time for that ball to come down to be able to time it.
And the speed, it just picks up speed as it comes along. I've seen quite a lot of players drop their ball toss over their careers. Burdage did it. I did it with Coco Vandeweghe. It's the first thing I said. You got to drop your ball toss. Otherwise, you just keep serving double faults.
Second serve for Sabalenka, 2 game points, and that's long from Keys. And so 2 convincing holds of serve, 1 apiece, and 1 game all.
It's funny we talk about ball toss, but Keys has got a high ball toss. She doesn't serve too many double faults, but she does. Has she served any yet? No, I don't think she has.
She has not.
No. But she can do. But she's one of the rare players that can. But she's got such a good wrist snap underneath the ball and the kick that she somehow is able to control it. But it's not easy when that ball toss goes that high.
Madison Keys now serving again and missing the first serve. Second serve towards Sabalenka, who runs around the backhand to hit the forehand. She's now inside the baseline, Sabalenka, and she's powering that forehand back at Keys, who can't make a forehand of her own, and trying to take the initiative to continue the momentum of the second set, which saw Sabalenka level the match by winning it by 6 games to 2. 1 hour and 28 minutes on the clock. A mostly cloudy evening. A little breezy as well in Melbourne this evening. Pleasant day expected tomorrow, and then tennis players will be delighted not to have to play on Monday, where it's expected to be 42 degrees Celsius. Sabalenka's on the attack here. She's got the short ball and she wins the point with a drop shot, and this is now looking alarming for Madison Keys.
Love 13.
Yeah, she's got to find some good serves. Hasn't in the last couple of points, and Sabalenka's really damaging the second serve. Keys did a pretty decent job just getting that ball back, and easy open court for a drop shot.
So love 30, Sabalenka with the backhand return. Big forehand, Keys, winner.
Well, there's this clever body serve there. didn't go for the lines, the tee or the wide, just into the body. She knows she's not going to hit it wide and really jammed Sabalenka up. Good quick footwork from Keys. That'll make her feel a lot better.
15-30 down though.
Oh, attempted another body serve. Just trying to tie up Sabalenka, stop her getting the big swings.
Forehand return. It's miscued by Sabalenka, but it's going to land in. Keys with the forehand. Sabalenka's backhand. Keys with the forehand to the Sabalenka backhand. She slices it as the champion. Now she's running onto a sliced forehand, Sabalenka. The drop shot from Keys, and now the forehand into the net from Sabalenka. It was actually a mid-court slice from Madison Keys, and it's been very effective once again there.
It's getting a little bit more exciting, this match, isn't it? The tennis is going up a couple of notches. The crowd is starting to get more involved. You can feel that. And that was an excellent shot from Madison Keys, making it pretty tricky. But Sabalenka disappointed not to make that one.
So from love 30 to 30 all. Chip back on the forehand by Sabalenka, who's now hitting a forehand down the line. Backhand Keys down the line. Sabalenka cross-court along with the forehand. Keys has won 3 points in a row, and if you want the cricket, the third T20 international from Adelaide in the Women's Ashes, that's on Sports Extra and BBC Sounds at the moment, with England's women in trouble again. 23 for 3, chasing 163 to beat Australia, for whom Beth Moody opened the innings and made an unbeaten 94. And that's a forehand into the net by Sabalenka. Keys recovers from love 30 down to keep her serve intact. She leads the decider, Gigi, by 2-1.
Now, earlier this morning, Britain's Alfie Hewitt beat defending champion Takito Oda to win his 10th Grand Slam wheelchair singles title and his second here at Melbourne Park. Now, Oda beat Hewitt to Paralympic gold last summer and had won 3 previous meetings in Slam finals. So a very sweet victory for Alfie, who's been speaking to David Law.
You made a heck of a quick start today. I mean, after the first couple of marathon games. Was there a different strategy?
Yeah. There was. That was the only thing we talked about before the match was the start, because I felt like the last 3 matches for sure, but ones before that, I've maybe taken a bit of time to find the intensity and the level needed to be able to compete against him, and the sets have been very one-sided. And last week was the same in our leading tournament. I lost the first set 6-love, and I was 3-love down in the second. And you know, when you see a bit of a pattern, you need to act on it, and we need to react. And today I had that opportunity to try and change that.
You got a little bit of revenge today. How does that make you feel?
I think you saw it after I won it today. Like, there was a lot of tears, which I didn't expect, to be honest. You know, it was emotional because those results, those matches, they stay with you for a long time. And you know, it's nothing personal. Like, he wants to win, I want to win. But when you have this incredible rivalry, which creates some matches that will stick with you for a lifetime, you never forget the pain of the ones you lose, and likewise the ones you win as well, like the brilliance of it. So today is a nice one to just, I don't know, help me in the right direction again, and just keep myself feeling positive, especially in these moments, because when you lose quite a few consecutive Grand Slam finals to one player, you start creating a bit of doubt whether you're good enough in that moment, and that's some of the demons that I've been facing against him.
Congratulations to Alfie, who earlier in the week won a 6th in a row with Gordon Reid wheelchair men's doubles title. So a very happy slam for Alfie Hewitt.
30-11.
And it was a great performance today. Very aggressive from the word go, as he was explaining there, and emotional when he won a 2nd Australian Open singles title and a 10th Grand Slam singles title in all. Aryna Sabalenka has 30-love, deciding set of the women's final here in Melbourne. She trails 1-2, put under pressure there by Madison Keys, the 19th seed from the United States, and down on one knee, Sabalenka has missed the forehand.
Well, it's the first time that's been really effective, that hard return from Keys straight down the middle, as it was in a semi-final match. The time drawing the arrow from Sabalenka just overpowered. Too much pace on it.
30-15, the backhand miscued by Keys.
40 for 10.
Well, if Sabalenka starts to continue to try and get that service percentage up, it's going to get more and more tricky for Madison Keys.
Sabalenka with 2 game points. The level at 2-all in the decider. And she has just missed the first serve. Second serve from Sabalenka. With the seagulls circling overhead. The backhand from Keys is too long. And it is 2 games all, so they are both holding their nerve for now in the deciding set
2 games
of this first Grand Slam singles final of 2025.
Well, as we start to get to the heart of this match, it's going to get even more edgy in the next 10 minutes or so, you would imagine. I reckon the crowd can sense it as well, because it's on edge. It's been on edge the whole time, hasn't it?
Yeah, it hasn't been flowing, has it? You can't see an obvious sign of something coming next, and that makes it exciting. It's, as you said, Annabelle, it hasn't been the best level of tennis by any shadow of the imagination, but it's been, you know, a tense final.
1 hour and 34 minutes on the clock. Fine start to this returning game by Sabalenka, who hits the forehand down the line as people make their way into the Rod Laver Arena this year and last year to encourage people to get into their seats and not have to wait until a change of ends. Tennis Australia have been letting people in more liberally. Players seem to have got used to movement in their line of sight. The lob from Sabalenka and that backhand overhead from Keys is brilliant. And she's got a forehand now into the open court, Keys. Big smile on her face, because she was very nearly love 30 down.
Well, I don't quite know how Sabalenka hit that shot, to be honest with you, because she was past where they sit for the change of end. She was almost down the tunnel to be able to hit that backhand. Incredible.
A great lob from Sabalenka, and Keys just went back and almost didn't look, just flicked her backhand up, high backhand, it went perfectly across court.
15 all, good serve, service winner from Keys.
And they're the sort of shots that win matches for you. Just a little bit of luck that comes off the right way, and you know, as you said, that was love 30. One more inch.
30-15. Keys serves and misses. Looked quite relaxed when she smiled and laughed there. Good way of loosening yourself up if you are feeling a bit stressed, which these players inevitably will be. It's Keys celebrating a Sabalenka backhand into the net, and these now are 2 game points. For 3-2, Keys has the advantage of serving first in this deciding set. It was the other way round in the semi-final against Iga Swiatek. Swiatek had the match point, had a chance to serve for the match, but Keys got her in the match tiebreak by 10 points to 8. It was a gripping semi-final. It's turning into a gripping final as Sabalenka hits the forehand with air to the backhand of Keys. Sabalenka's forehand, Keys with the backhand. The drop shot into the tape from Sabalenka, so that's 2 she's missed now in this set. And Keys leads by 3 games to 2.
Keys leads by 3 games to 2.
As we mentioned, the cricket is taking place over on Sports Extra. You can get ball-by-ball commentary there. But here on 5 Live, we're going to keep you bang up to date with what's taking place. And doing that for us is Fionn Wynne.
Yeah, more trouble for England as they continue to search for their first points in the women's Ashes. They've slipped to 34 for 3 after 5 overs, chasing 163 against Australia in this third T20 in Adelaide. Australia's total was set up by Beth Mooney's brilliant 94, and England, already 3 wickets down, have a mountain to climb.
They certainly do. Fionn, thank you very much. Ball-by-ball coverage continues over on Sports Extra. Don't forget Saturday's 5 Live Sport on air at midday. Mark Chapman will be joined by Alan Shearer, Theo Walcott, Dion Dublin. Our 3 o'clock commentaries, Wolves against Arsenal, followed at 5:30 by Man City against Chelsea.
You wonder how much of this final set the players will remember when it's done. Madison Keys said that she barely remembered the match point against her that Iga Swiatek had in the semi-final. Felt like she almost blacked out at the end and was struggling to string sentences together. It's stressful, but the reward is an immense one as Sabalenka swings the forehand cross-court for the winner. Deciding set of the final on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. It's Aryna Sabalenka, the champion of the past 2 years and the world #1, against Madison Keys in only her 2nd Grand Slam final from the United States, the 19th seed. And after splitting the first 2 sets, this is Sabalenka 2-3 down, 15 love, backhand down the line from Sabalenka. An incredible shot
She wants a bit more applause for that one, and quite rightly so. That's got to be point of the match.
30.
I mean, an outstanding serve and return from Keys, and then an even better from outside the tram line. I think she hit it almost, was it round the, I mean, it was almost round the post, but down the line for a winner. Incredible.
Only lasted 3 blows, that rally, like many in this match. But as Annabelle was explaining, they were high quality. 30 love. Sabalenka will require a second serve here. As that wind picks up again inside the Rod Laver Arena, and Keys goes cross-court with a forehand. Sabalenka down the line. The slice backhand with too much air and too much depth is from Madison Keys.
40.
And Sabalenka, as comfortable as you ever can be on serve in the deciding set of a Grand Slam final. Three game points for 3 games all. First serve, very wide because of the intervention of the net. Second serve, Sabalenka. Kick serve to the forehand of Keys, which is long. And a love hold, gratefully received by the world number 1.
Just holding a little easier, isn't she?
Yeah. It does feel like she's slightly ahead in terms of her level in this final set. Just feels like she's a little more comfortable. But I mean, it's a long way to go. But we are starting to get into sort of choppy waters, I think, aren't
Please,
we?
ladies and gentlemen, cheer between the points, but not in between the first and second serve.
Well, she has the recent experience, doesn't she? Last year, Australian Open champion, US Open champion, lost a very tight quarter-final at Roland Garros when she had a really nasty stomach bug, and then didn't play at Wimbledon because of a shoulder injury. So, not inconceivable, she could have won all 4 Grand Slams in a year if fate had dealt her a different hand. It's 3 games all in the deciding set. Keys serving to the forehand of Sabalenka, and Sabalenka has gone long.
15 love.
Well, you would have thought by this stage of the match that, you know, she's missing just sort of routine returns of serve like that, which will not feel great, will it?
No, that was a big opportunity. Second serve, ran around mid-court, forehand.
Keys at 15 love, goes down the tee, and it's blocked back just wide by Sabalenka.
30 love.
Keys still serving well. That's a frustrating thing when you get a second serve. Sabalenka really wants to do some damage with it. Just made that mistake at the first point. Keys comes up with a big serve.
30 love. Second serve for Keys. Forehand Sabalenka down the line with real power. The ball is recycled by Keys, but she was always second best in that rally. Sabalenka with a forehand winner.
Well, that's what she was looking for in the first point. Good aggressive play into the backhand side of Keys. That's a safe bet. Go to the forehand of Keys. I'm sure she could really smack a winner off it. It's dangerous.
Backhand cross-court from Sabalenka. Keys into the net. This is 30 all.
30 all.
Yeah, good play from Sabalenka. Somehow, good kick serve out there, really up high. Sabalenka just did what she could to get it across to that backhand side, and Keys didn't get the racket head speed, hit it into the net.
Keys serves. Sabalenka with a forehand. Keys with a forehand down the line. Does not miss the spot.
Just couldn't get enough on that return of serve because she landed it short, she got it cross-court, left the gap wide open into that backhand corner. Crowd really starting to get engaged with this final now.
One solitary opportunity to lead 4-3. Keys serve. Sabalenka's forehand. Keys with the forehand. Sabalenka cross-court with the backhand. Keys down the line with a backhand. Clenches her fist. Beautifully played. She has the advantage of serving first in this deciding set. She's the one who can exert a bit of scoreboard pressure as long as she looks after her own serve, Gigi, and she's leading by 4 games to 3.
1 hour and 43 minutes on the clock, and Annabelle and Pat, as you said, it has been scrappy, it hasn't been vintage, but you throw in now deciding set, you throw in the tension, you throw in the fact we can see the trophy over there to our right-hand side, and things, I think, Pat, fair to say, bubbling up nicely.
Yeah, yes, it's I'd say 1 hour 43. It's probably been 1 hour 30 of scrappy tennis, and the last few minutes has been just picked up a level, and great game from Keys there. I mean, you know, she plays a good game here, gets there's a couple of double faults, and yeah, she's serving for the title. So we're really at the business end of the tournament. Sabalenka has been holding quite comfortably, but that doesn't mean much at all. Just if Keys can just relax somehow and swing away, and she says she's been swinging away, then that beautiful backhand down the line to win that game, and a big roar.
Not a single break point in this deciding set so far. Sabalenka, the champion, serving at 3-4. And along with the first serve, Keys has won 78 points, Sabalenka 77. Second serve from Sabalenka. Keys with the forehand, straight back at Sabalenka, who hits a forehand reply. Forehand from Sabalenka, she's on the back foot here. Keys comes to the net, forehand volley. Sabalenka with a passing chance. Cross court she goes. And Keys thought for a moment she'd made that volley, but it's into the net. And to the relief of Sabalenka, she wins the opening point of the game.
Yeah, it's a brilliant point from both of them, and Sabalenka's fantastic movement. She had the target at the net, really took off quickly for that ball, got herself balanced, got the footwork in the right position. Brilliant first point for her.
Sabalenka 15 love. Backhand return, Keys cross court. Sabalenka down the line.
30.
That's been an effective serve, hasn't it? Really effective. I know Keys has got a famous kick serve, but the kick serve from Sabalenka, that's off the first serve there. So she slowed it down, got to bounce of it. Been incredibly effective. So that'll be a go-to serve if she gets really tight at the end of this set.
Sabalenka 30 love, blocked back on the forehand by Keys. Sabalenka with a forehand, she's coming forward. Her volley is a good one.
Well, what a beautifully constructed point that was from Sabalenka. And it's so nice, isn't it, now that we're starting to get points really won by really good tennis.
Yeah, top quality. Just did enough with the volley. Easily made a mistake on that one, but just controlled the backhand, cut inside out.
Sabalenka to the backhand of Keys. Sabalenka with a forehand down the line. It's another love hold. She's dropped just 2 points on serve in this deciding set. Aryna Sabalenka. Mind you, Madison Keys has only dropped 5 points, and that's why it's 4 games all in the deciding set. And you have to admire their nerve, because they have both been rock solid, Annabelle, haven't they, when they most needed to be on that serve. They're not giving their opponent a breakpoint opportunity yet.
No, they're not. They're definitely bringing it to the table right now when it really, really matters. Both of them have gone to the change of ends, even though it isn't a sit down. It looks like they've both changed rackets at the same time, but it's going to get extremely intense in these next few moments, because if Madison Keys can hold on to serve, or she can get some really good first serves into play, she's going to be ahead 5-4 and just 4 points away from the title. But let's see what happens in this game. How well is Sabalenka going to return serve?
4 games all. 10:33 on a Saturday morning in the UK. 9:33 on a Saturday evening in Melbourne. Soft second serve from Keys. Now a backhand from her. Forehand Sabalenka. Keys cross court with the backhand. A backhand down the line from Keys. That was really wonderfully well struck. Lots of freedom. Big celebration from her too as she walks towards our commentary box window. She won't be able to see us, but we can see her, and we can see the determination on her face.
One of the better points of the match for her.
Lands a first serve onto the forehand of Sabalenka. Sabalenka reaching for this, but can only pop it back up into the air and into the base of the net.
Wow, what a fantastic 2 points this is at the start of this service game from Madison Keys. All of a sudden, she's finding her best tennis. She looks very at ease. She's not tense. She is going for it. And she said that, didn't she, ahead of this match, that she wanted to walk off court, leaving everything out here. And she's doing exactly that.
30 love. Good serve. Backhand Sabalenka. Keys with the forehand. Sabalenka with the backhand. Volley Keys. That one's got away from her. It's aimed in towards her body by Sabalenka, and her backhand volley was long.
30 for 10.
What's the first thing you tell somebody when you're learning to volley? First thing, keep your racket in front of you, out in front.
Not behind you.
And it's incredible. The modern players just don't do that at all. She got caught there with the racket way too behind her.
30-15. Forehand Sabalenka into the tape. Thought about it. Really thought about it. But didn't dive over Madison Keys' side. More fist pumping from Keys. 2 game points for a 5-4 lead in the deciding set of the Australian Open final.
Well, that ball toss was quite far out to the right-hand side there, chasing that ball.
You can hear how tense the crowd
are
feeling. Second serve. Push to the back of the service box. Prods a forehand in play, Keys. Drop shot Sabalenka. And into the net, Keys with a forehand. Into the middle of the net. Trying to explain that point to me, Annabelle.
Oh my God, I'm not sure I can. I mean, that was just pure tension, wasn't it? Coming forward, she almost didn't want to hit that ball. And she couldn't get the racket head underneath it, and she just slapped it straight. I mean, honestly, it was halfway up the net, not even halfway.
She's never going to make that like that. I mean, it's better for her just to slice it or push it down the line.
40-30 now as Sabalenka hits a forehand over the baseline. Keys has the precious hold of serve. 5-4. Aryna Sabalenka, who's only dropped 2 points on serve in this deciding set so far, is going to have to continue in that vein, Gigi, or else, if she's broken, Madison Keys is the champion.
My word, we are approaching 2 hours on the match clock, and this is when serving first, Annabelle, in the deciding set, as long as you hold serve, she has now put all the pressure in the world on the shoulders of Aryna Sabalenka.
Oh, she really has. And that was really, apart from that horrible forehand that she just hit, it was quite a brilliant game, wasn't it? Just getting good serves into play, striking the ball well, and just piling on the pressure to Aryna Sabalenka, who just couldn't come up with the goods. And I felt all the way through this set that it was actually Sabalenka who was slightly ahead in terms of the quality that she was playing. But it just shows you, as you've just said, serving first, taking care of business, playing some solid. But it's almost like she's gone into a zen-like kind of mood out here. She's gone into default position, Keys, and she's relying on every good bit of tennis that she's brought into this final, and she's mentally ready to face up to the fire.
Sabalenka serving to stay in the final.
In front of 15,000 people in the Rod Laver Arena on the eve of Australia Day. Sabalenka's first serve to the backhand of Keys. Sabalenka into the net. Boy, that was tight.
That was tight. It's an understatement, that one.
Yeah.
Her back leg flipped up, her arms went down, her body was wobbling.
Yeah. Quite a reaction from the crowd after that one as well.
Champion in 2023 and 2024 is love 15 down and missing a first serve.
Yeah, and it wasn't like she spun that in to try and get it in. She went after it. She's going to put pressure on her second serve now.
She's serving to stay in the final, Sabalenka. Second serve is in, the backhand from Keys. Sabalenka with the backhand cross-court, Keys with the backhand. Sabalenka cross-court with the forehand. Keys down the line and wide.
Oh my goodness. And it didn't miss by, well, it missed by a little bit of distance, but she went for it.
Just needed a little bit of shape. We talked about her going for it. Sometimes her undoing, but that just required 10%, 5% less power and just a bit more control, and that point was over.
15 all. Sabalenka lands a first serve. She's got a short forehand to put away. She hits it into the corner, and it's out of Madison Keys' reach.
Well, what a brilliant first serve. I mean, absolutely fantastic. She got the width on it. She came around the outside of that ball. I mean, Madison was way outside court, and then she got the short reply and did a good job just putting that into the open space. This is tense.
Sabalenka, 30-15. Serving to stay in the final. Missing a first serve. Again, disgust all over her face. Second serve. Backhand return from Keys cross court. Sabalenka down the line, drives the backhand confidently away for a winner. Looks towards the coach's box.
The go-to play, just kick that ball up high on the backhand side, on the second court, the backhand corner, just opens up the Keys. Doesn't like to go down the line. Goes across court, doesn't hit it perfectly. Sabalenka's just eating that one up.
40-15. Sabalenka into the tape. I love how engaged the crowd are.
I know.
They just cannot keep their emotions to themselves. As excited as they should be. Keys with the backhand, Sabalenka's backhand. Keys cross court with the backhand. Sabalenka nets, reaching for that backhand, single-handed. Wipes her inevitably sweaty palms on that yellow dress and knows that she has one game point remaining to level this deciding set at 5 games all, with 1 hour and 55 minutes on the clock, diagonally opposite each other at either end of the court. Sabalenka serves, forehand into the net from Keys. Sabalenka does her bit. 1 set all, 5 games all.
Well, interesting serve that one, wasn't it? Down the tee. I think she realised that she needed to mix the play up. She'd been going just high to the backhand side. And it's always the risk. If you hit too many of those, eventually Keys will get hold of that. And so very clever play from Sabalenka, just sliding it down the middle. It was hard, wasn't brutally hard, but it was in with a bit of curl.
Keys has to do it all again now. If they both hold serve, we will have a 10-point tiebreak to decide the Australian Open title. Forehand from Sabalenka, Keys with the backhand, Sabalenka's backhand, Keys with the forehand, it's long, squatting down, played that on one knee.
Love the fitting.
Love 15 down. Backhand return from Sabalenka is over the baseline.
15 all.
Keys serving at 15 all and 5 games all in the deciding set of the final. BBC Sounds, 5 Live. Pat Cash and Annabelle Croft with us here in the Rod Laver Arena. Forehand, Sabalenka goes after it and gets her reward.
I thought that was going to be out, that one.
So did I, but I mean, she was still brave, wasn't she? Maybe that was a little central, that second serve, and it was straight into the strike zone. She just did a little bit of a shift to her left with the footwork to get that ball out in front, but pummeled that towards the line. I mean, that was brave.
Good serve from Keys down the middle.
Great change up.
Sabalenka can only block the forehand into the base of the net.
She literally moved to the left as the ball toss was going in. She thought it was going to be a wide serve to the backhand, and Keys just slid it down the middle.
Five all, 30 all. Second serve Keys, forehand Sabalenka with real power. Ooh. And Keys has made the forehand down the line.
Oh my goodness, I thought that was out. I can't believe she made that. I mean, this is literally by a whisker. How on earth has she made this ball? She used her legs, absorbed it all. I mean, that might win her this championship.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a great return too.
Breathtaking. Game point. Forehand Keys hits in behind Sabalenka with another forehand winner. How about that for back-to-back forehand winners at 5 games all in the deciding set of only your second Grand Slam final. Remember, Madison Keys has never won one. She had a horrible experience when she lost to Sloane Stephens at the US Open final of 2017, but she's now within touching distance. Annabelle, having decided some point last year that her game that had taken her so far and given her a glittering career and much wealth was probably not going to win her a Grand Slam title, and with Bjorn Fratangelo, her coach, who became her husband in November, they were going to go for it. They were going to make racket changes, they were going to make serve changes, and this was going to be a Madison Keys equipped to win a Grand Slam title.
Yeah, and look where she stands right now, just on the precipice, isn't she? 4 points away and starting to bring the tennis that is Grand Slam winning tennis. I mean, if there were 2 points that you could pick out that might just get her over the line, it would be those last 2 shots she's just hit. I mean, knees almost on the floor, but just playing on pure instinct. As she always said, she needed to start playing tennis where she did not regret how she played at key moments. And wow, what 2 points she just strung together there. She's going to force Sabalenka to have to bring her best level here.
Once again, Aryna Sabalenka needs to hold serve to keep the final alive and take us into a 10-point tiebreak this time. Good return from Keys, backhand from Keys, forehand shank by Sabalenka over the baseline. Keys has her tail up, no question about it. 2 stunning forehand winners to close out the service game, and she is now hoping that this is the game that makes her a Grand Slam champion for the first time. Sabalenka, 5-6. Love 15. Backhand return from Keys. Down the line winner.
For it. She finally went. That was the stock standard one I was telling you about. You have to be careful. Don't want to get the opponent's eye in. That kick serve didn't kick. It was just right on the Keys, and she went for it.
She is zoned in right now.
2 points away from the title, Madison Keys, as Sabalenka serves to a backhand, and that one is long from Keys. But if she's going to win it, I think she's going to win it in style.
Yeah, I've got goosebumps watching this. This is extraordinary.
She's going to have to hit another big backhand winner to win this. Sabalenka's going to try and get out there.
Her husband can hardly watch.
Love 30's become 15-30. Sabalenka finds her first serve. Forehand return from Keys. Sabalenka cross court. Sabalenka's inside the baseline. Hits the forehand straight back at Keys. Sabalenka with the forehand into the net.
Oh my goodness.
Madison Keys has 2 championship points.
And her husband's on his feet. He's fist pumping with both fists towards her right down the other end.
He's signalling to move in.
Yeah.
In other words, come in and go for it.
The champion of the last 2 years is on the ropes.
Could be a slow second, a first serve. That's what he's thinking. She should be ready for it.
Championship point, Madison Keys. Great serve down the middle, and the backhand from Keys is on the sideline, but Sabalenka makes no mistake. It was one of the easiest forehands of her life, but nothing's easy at a time like this. And we didn't hear the call, did we? But it was all to no avail. I'm not sure Sabalenka was sure. She hit the forehand, but the Keys return was just wide. And the first championship point has been saved.
Well, this is a big... Where's she going to go?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be going out to the back end, saying, OK, if you're good enough.
Championship point number 2 for Madison Keys. Backhand return. Forehand from Sabalenka. Keys hits the forehand. Sabalenka with a backhand down the middle. Keys forehand. It's a winner! Madison Keys is a Grand Slam champion at the age of 29, and she has dethroned the Australian Open champion Aryna Sabalenka, who will not complete a hat-trick of titles. Sabalenka looks furious as she makes her way to the net, but now there's a warm embrace for the new champion. Madison Keys, who had that horrible experience in the US Open final 8 years ago, and may have thought her chance of being a Grand Slam champion had gone forever, has won the title in Melbourne as Sabalenka obliterates her racket.
It's fair to say she's not happy.
Madison Keys makes her way over to the team. And here she will be able to embrace her husband and her coach, because they are one and the same. Sabalenka has buried her head in a white towel. And now a kiss on the lips for husband and coach Bjorn Fratangelo. Both players are sobbing. Keys in joy. Sabalenka in rage at having missed the chance to become the first woman since 1999 to win the Australian Open title 3 years in a row. But what a triumph for Madison Keys, who must have wondered whether her chance had gone. It's very rare to win your first Grand Slam title at the age of 29. She's the fourth oldest first-time Grand Slam champion in the Open era. And she's won the title in her 46th Grand Slam, and only Flavia Pennetta of Italy and Marion Bartoli took longer to win a maiden Slam title. Sabalenka is leaving the Rod Laver Arena to compose herself, I imagine. I'm sure she will return for the presentation, but we have seen the very, very differing emotions on display in a Grand Slam final, which was won at the death by 7 games to 5 in the deciding set after 2 hours and 2 minutes by Madison Keys.
Oh my goodness, what have we just seen? That was something else. I mean, it was a slow burner of a match, but once it got going, it really came alive. And, you know, I think as Gigi said, the fact that she was serving first in that final set and was starting to bring sort of pretty solid serving, good serves into play, using the kickers. And she just brought it when she really needed it most. And she did leave it all out there. She was brave. She went for some absolutely sizzling winners. She middled the ball. And she was kind of standing tall, the way she stood up to the pressure. She didn't shy away from it. She did exactly what she said she needed to do to have no regrets, and she's earned it. I mean, she really did earn this win today.
Yeah, it's sort of a potential fulfilled, isn't it? Because I think, as you said, Annabelle, you know, when we first saw her come on here at the Australian Open, everybody thought, oh, she's going to win a whole bunch of Grand Slams, assuming the Williams sisters don't grab everything. She'll be in amongst this bunch, but she hasn't, and to be honest, it never looked like she was going to. And you know, she's done it the hard way as well. I mean, look at the players that she's beaten along the way. You know, she did go for it. It's been a downfall at times, but you know, a couple of fantastic backhands in that final game to hold up under pressure, and then getting onto that favoured forehand, which is a great shot. I mean, it's no doubts it's one of the best shots in the game, and the kick serve as well. Her serve's a great serve, and she gets around, hits forehands. But the backhand held up under pressure. I mean, it was yes, it wasn't a great match up until sort of two games all in the third set, and it really started getting really good and really tense. And Sabalenka, you said it. So there was a couple of shots that probably won that match, and that was.
2 points at the end of that previous game.
The forehand that she caught perfectly, and maybe that backhand smash, over her head, she just sort of flicked at it and it went perfectly across. That was a massive point. I think that was 30 all as well. So a couple of points under extreme pressure, 30 all juice or whatever it was. She came up with just spectacular winners, and some days it's your day and some days it's not.
I agree.
And you were right. You sort of said, oh, I've got a feeling that it might be her day today. Just got a feeling.
Just had a weird gut instinct about it.
Yeah.
I think it was a shame to see Sabalenka, the way she reacted at the very last point. When the match point was done, Keys had just won, and she walked forward, and she was absolutely muttering across to her camp, wasn't she? And she was indicating something of annoyance. So rather than just walking forward and shaking hands, she was kind of gesturing all sorts of things to her camp. And then, of course, she went and smashed her racket, which is never a good look, is it, for a Grand Slam final when you've just lost it? It didn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, she's incredible, and that's a competitor she is. She wanted to go for 3. That was her goal. That she wanted to be one of the all-time greats. And you know, it's been hugely disappointing for her. And you know, just when we thought, okay, her game's coming together, she's holding her serve quite easily. Keys just raised her level enough to stay with her and got a couple of errors and a couple of good shots, and that was about it. You know, that's all. It's not much in these matches.
No.
A couple of shots here and a couple of shots there. If that, sometimes. So maybe it's only one.
Well, she's left the court now, Sabalenka. I
No,
thought
she's come back.
Oh, has she?
She's made her way back. She's tidied up the rackets, put them away, and we go from having the best view on the Rod Laver Arena
to the worst.
To the worst.
Well, unless you like photographers' butts.
All right then. We do have a lot of bottoms in front of us. They are the photographers that have a stage erected for them to stand on so they can get the perfect shot of the champion with the trophy. We do have monitors, so we're going to be able to bring you the presentation, but just to let you know how the next hour's going to go, we're going to stay with you till 11:30 because we have a men's singles final to preview Yannick Sinner against Sasha Zverev. That's world number 1 against world number 2. 11:30, we're going to have for you episode 1 of the second series of F1 Back at Base, and then from midday you will have 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman. But they're getting things set. The dignitaries have just looked to the side of a bottom, are up onto the stage. Madison Keys, just huge smile on her face, laughing in disbelief as she sits on the chair. She's played professional tennis for over half of her life, and now at the age of 29 she is a Grand Slam champion.
And I've got to be honest, I didn't think it was coming. She has started the Australian season well, hasn't she, in the past, and she has done well here. But it just looked like it was going to be one of those careers that looked like it'd be multiple Grand Slam, championships, just held back by her I suppose her dedication to the game. I will say, I think so many matches. So many times I've just seen her go, not practice properly.
And welcome everybody to our presentation here this evening.
Let's hand you over to your Master of Ceremonies,
how
Todd
amazing was that
Woodbridge.
match? One more round of applause for these two champions. Extraordinary. I now would like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the land on which we gather tonight, and pay our respects to their elders past and present. I extend that respect also to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples that are here with us this evening. And now, on behalf of Tennis Australia, I'd like to welcome Her Excellency, the Governor of Victoria, the Victorian Premier, the Honourable Jacinta Allen, and all the other dignitaries and government representatives that are here with us tonight. Also joining us on the court here for the presentation is the Chair of Tennis Australia, Jane Herdlicker, Mr. Liao Miao, the Chairman of Le Jeu Le Jeu, the Tournament Director, Craig Tiley, our tournament referee, Wayne McEwen, and to present our trophy to our champion tonight, a legend of our game, 7-time Grand Slam champion, Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley. And would you please welcome to our court our AO 2025 top ball girl. It's Adele Cow, and she's about to bring out the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup. Well, the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup, which is presented to our champion here tonight, has been travelling around Victoria for several weeks now. It's been on the road with our AO team and is now safely back right here on Rod Laver Arena to be presented to our champion. Thank you very much, Adele. And now I'd like to invite the Chair of Tennis Australia, Jane Herdlicker, up to the microphone to say a few words.
What a spectacular night of tennis we've just witnessed, and a great and fitting finish to 3 spectacular weeks of women's tennis here at Melbourne Park. And we've crowned a new Grand Slam champion. Madison, you are now a Grand Slam champion. You've taken home the AO title, and and you fought hard for it from the start to the finish of this tournament. You won the Adelaide International, and you've just shown us what great grit and competition looks like. You dug deep tonight, and you're taking home the benefit, so we're really proud of you. Congratulations. Tonight was not your night, but we know we're going to see you back here. You showed unbelievable grit and determination tonight. You just didn't get there, but we know you'll be back, and we'll see you again next year. Now, I'm also proud to say that the Australian Open is going from strength to strength, and tomorrow night we will announce new records. Already, we have welcomed more than 1 million people into Melbourne Park this year, and 1 billion people watching from home. Sport unites community and brings a special joy, whether you're here or whether you're at home, and we're very proud to be starting the year bringing a little special something, no matter where you are in the world. And we're also really grateful. We have such an amazing team here at Melbourne Park. We have extraordinary fans, and without the combination of the two, we wouldn't be able to bring you the Happy Slam. And that includes ball kids, the umpires, and all of our customer-facing and player-facing teams. Each and every one of you are spectacular. And combined with our partners, we have the most incredible event that we're able to stage, and that's thanks to Kia, Luzhou, Emirates, and Rolex. We are very grateful for your support. Thank you, everyone, and have a spectacular night.
Thank you very much, Jane. Now I'd like to call the chair umpire up who has officiated over our women's singles final tonight. That's Louise Azamar Enzel from Sweden. What a terrific job she has done, and all the officials throughout the tournament. But our tournament referee, Wayne McEwen, has a special gift for you as a memento of your time here in the final tonight.
Silver salver is handed over to Louise Azamar Enzel, who presided over the final.
Congratulations once again, Louise. Well, now, her journey through this tournament has been nothing short of spectacular. Her incredible power and her electrifying presence have thrilled us throughout this tournament and, of course, the previous two. And although finishing just short tonight, she will always be an Australian Open champion. Would you please put your hands together for our runner-up here tonight, Aryna Sabalenka.
By reaching the final and not facing Iga Świątek, she knew that she would retain the #1 ranking. She is a two-time Australian Open champion. She now collects her runner-up trophy. And will now say a few words.
It's okay. I hope I'll see you next year. First of all, I mean, Madison, wow, what a tournament. I mean, you've been fighting really, really hard to get this trophy. You played unbelievable tennis. You crashed this tonight. Congrats, you and your team. Really well deserved. And enjoy the celebration, enjoy the really fun part. I just want to say thank you. Thank you everyone who made this tournament happen. Thank you everyone who make my stay comfortable, and I really feel like home every time I'm here. And even though I didn't get it this year, I'll come back stronger, and I'll do my best next year. Yeah, thank you guys for an amazing atmosphere throughout 2 weeks. I really enjoy playing in front of you, and you guys are amazing, and thank you so much. Thank you. Of course, thank you to all of the sponsors, tournament director, everyone who was helping. Oh my God, I mean, I'm speechless for real. Just thank you so much for your help throughout 2 weeks. I mean, should I say anything to my team? Why are you laughing? As always, that's your fault, guys. I don't want to see you for the next week. I really hate you. No, anyway, thank you so much for everything you're doing for me and blah, blah, blah. No, I think we did our best. Just Madison was playing incredible. I couldn't do anything in this match. And next time I play against Madison, I'll bring you better tennis. And of course, sending love to my team. Anyway, I love you, even though we lost.
A little side-eye from Sabalenka towards the team, but they were holding up their hands in the shape of hearts towards her.
Aryna. And as Aryna alluded to, the team is very important, and this year we'd like to welcome a special coaches award, and I'd like to invite Madison's coach up. It's Bjorn Frantangelo, in fact her husband as well, so it's going to be a great celebration to come forward and collect a special memento of the part that he's played in the tournament, to be awarded to him by Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley.
Wow. Thanks so much.
He takes the token of appreciation, Bjorn Frantangelo. They've been together a long time, but as Russell mentioned, the wedding took place last November.
Okay then, now our champion. Well, what a remarkable victory it's been. It's nothing short of inspirational when you have watched her career to get to this point. She brought power and she brought precision tonight, and she's outplayed some of the very best players in the world to be where she is about to stand. This isn't just a victory, it's a defining moment in her career. It's one that cements her legacy in our sport. A first Grand Slam title. As she gets set to hold this Daphne Ackhurst trophy aloft, would you please welcome our champion here at the Australian Open Women's Singles for 2025, Madison Keys.
She's making her way up onto the stage, Madison Keys. Yvonne Goolagong-Cawley embraces Keys before handing her the Daphne Ackhurst Memorial Cup. Big smile on her face, as you'd expect. And let's hear from your Australian Open champion.
Okay, bear with me. I'm absolutely going to cry. There's no way I get through this without tears, so sorry in advance. Firstly, Aryna, unbelievable playing. I'm glad I finally got you back. But unbelievable tennis. You're always so tough to play, and we always have the craziest matches. So congratulations to you and your team for another amazing Grand Slam run. Thank you to everyone who came out and cheered the last 2 weeks. I always feel so at home here. I made my very first Grand Slam semifinal here in Melbourne, so to now have won my first Grand Slam in the same place means the absolute world to me. And I'm so thankful for all of you who come out and cheer every single tournament and every single time we play here in Melbourne. Thanks to all of the sponsors, all of the ball kids, Craig, Wayne, all the WTA staff, the physios that hold us together with tape. We could not do this without any of you. And I just want to say thank you to my team, and this is where I'm going to cry. I have wanted this for so long, and I have been in one other Grand Slam final and it did not go my way, and I didn't know if I was ever going to be able to get back to this position to try to win a trophy again. And my team believed in me every step of the way, so thank you so much. They believed in me when I didn't believe in myself and helped me every step of the way. Last year was so tough with some really bad injuries, and I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it again. And to be here and have this trophy and also be able to do it with my husband, who is kind of dazed and confused over there. I love you all so much, and I cannot wait for more. And
he's on the opposite.
Yeah, where is? Oh, he's there. Now I'm dazed and confused. I just want to say thank you so much. I am so appreciative to every single person who helped me continue to believe in myself, push on to achieve this dream, and thank you so much, and I cannot wait to see you all next year.
Congratulations one more time to Madison Keys. Well, that concludes our presentation, everybody. There'll be a photo opportunity right now, and then Madison will walk around the arena for you here in the crowd to be able to take a special photo of the occasion here. Would you please, one more time, put your hands together for these two incredible women that have put on a magnificent display.
Madison Keys, your Australian Open champion for 2025. And I have to say, her husband does look a little bit dazed and confused. The photographers now will have their moment. There'll be so much for Keys to do over the next couple of hours, but she will be so happy to do it. We'll have more reaction from here at Melbourne Park. We're also going to be looking ahead between now and 11:30 to tomorrow's men's singles final between the world number 1 and world number 2, Jannik Sinner and Sasha Zverev. But let's just take a pause with the time at 10 minutes past 11 here on 5 Live and get the latest news with Dan Maudsley.